the future. Ambition, concentration. With the multiply against the world distraction. Had the purpose on positions out is taken. That's a bullet up for something transcendent. You hope and need an older thing to keep the same. Shout when you dreaming just to alleviate the pain. Continue on the path, maintain without the strain. Cause I will just hold it out the path to reach the thing. Can't help it fame.
No concerns of precious strong. Still, I'd rather choose your
Fascinated by some greater things unseen. And pure belief, time to put them on the shelf. Still I let you book it through the fire, watch it well. Make the most out of the head built, need your help, heartfelt. Can't complete this mission by myself.
Need you by my side.
Really watch the world. There's no way to act I'd rather choose you. Really watch the time. There's no way to act I'd rather choose you. Heart figures in the past is gone. Still I got the third, I want to choose Cause we got it all, we should know mine. If every time I hit it, we want over shot. And the people just say, well, my plan to make it who to try. Cause they know we all who won't time. Cause we got it all, we should know mine. If every time I hit it, we want over shot. And the people just say, well, my plan to make it who to try. I know they probably think you watch your moves all. I'ma tell you like I own told them that it's not a call. Despite the love that can't be patient every day, they don't bond it, man, the judge the same as you can call that hate. All they happy niggas feel it, but they got niggas to slay. Says you ain't, check your bank, you the birth on your payday. How we stay in last place, we live in the most great. Set our people black and ugly, why you so weak and so weak? Why that's over, they don't like it, they just learn to tolerate. Ain't no reason play it, so you gotta free, you roll escape. Definition of some play, take the skill to formulate. We catch what we think, man, so glad you who a whole lot of why they hate. Cause they know that y'all who need more time. Cause we down the road, I appreciate the mine. Cause every time I hit the blue one of the shot, they just keep with it so low, I plan to make sure who is wrong. Cause they know that y'all who need more time. Cause we down the road, I appreciate the mine. Cause every time I hit the blue one of the shot, they just keep with it so low, I plan to make sure who is wrong. The second person I think you should probably listen. Ain't no reason for nobody to just call yourself a Christian. Now you can say you're different, there must be something you're missing. Every Sunday morning, you rise in church, we sneaking dress, the time to sing your curse. Man, my voice is too high. Only say that religion just to have most of the high. I got one, you got five, and you say you live the truth. Where's your designated driver? You that way too much people. And the ones who left the truth, that they we will make it this far. Well, how you know so much football? You the opposite of small, that you walk out and know the loser. Make sure my soul is right for the bitch, all the time you loser. Why they hate? Cause they know that y'all who came on top. Cause we got a lot of people that are mine. And every time I hit the blue one of the shot, ain't no secret, it's so low, I plan to make sure who is wrong. Cause they know that y'all who came on top. Cause we got a lot of people that are mine. And every time I hit the blue one of the shot, ain't no secret, it's so low, I plan to make sure who is wrong. Why they hate them? I see I do for the life of great people, but it's all around. you can see this standing. You can tell by the way I walk. I ain't hold my hands close to the people, so let me be clear. When you're on the side, who should I fear? Now I'm probably where you are. Hit the top, tell home girl, hit me my way. Touch my ears, no face on me, she shit. I ain't fearing, nah. Keep the beat, mine, how was summer. Now pay attention, I'm about to feel movies lost. Now what came down must go up. And you walk on one, so you know where you are. Put it in the out of my head, so about what? And the 43 days, you were higher than the beat. Start cold, ice cold, so you know I'm compliant. I ain't jacking around, I won't be defiant. This season's a what? On this block I'll be climbing. Just roll all in over the road with the giants. To my knees, so you can never want try. To the heart, to the mountain. Cause I can't stop, won't stop. Not till the day, I see ya. I do for the rap of grace. You told them it's all around on the ball we play. I used to be a son, but I'm on the way. Cause I'm walking all right, you can see this thing. You should walk all right like the palm tree. Should walk that kid for all the seas. So they went dragging their head like I ain't trying to see. Just think this will come, shit that didn't touch shades. Listen here, this how could he? When you shoot his leaves, but he still carried the burden. For you and me, we was too weak. So he showed a divorce. As he picked up the two, he walked to the fourth. Told me to let him run, separated my hand. Then I'm walking, so you who shout out the words. With all the people the words, and the two is to read. Shout out to the ex-head, throwing into my name. Let's tell the who that I killing our rivals. He gave us his breath, I call it revival. I'm lifting the standard, like I'm holding the title. Cause I'm working with your Hoosier, I don't stand with the idols of red. To my knee, dream, looking at one tribe. To the heart, and the floor, to the mountain. Cause I can't stop, won't stop. Until the day, I see ya. I do for the life of grace. You told me it's all around on the ball we play. I used to be a son, but I'm on my brain. Cause I'm walking all right, you can see that I'm standing. To my knee, dream, looking at one tribe. To the heart, and the floor, to the mountain. Cause I can't stop, won't stop. Until the day, I see ya. I do for the life of grace. You told me it's all around on the ball we play. I used to be a son, but I'm on my brain. Cause I'm walking all right, you can see that I'm standing. I like this. Hey, I got that joke. Hey, yo, how about the finest on the hill? Give me head. They go to me. They know that I be looking lit. I ain't talking about a chain or watch on my wrist. I'm living this to feed. Magic dread. How about the finest on the hill? Give me head. They go to me. They know that I be looking lit. I ain't talking about a chain or watch on my wrist. I'm living this to feed. Magic dread. It's the sword and the shield on my handle. Armor of your hooah, that's the fit for the battle. It's your hoodie game boy, I was giving the mantle. Cause they see your hoodie walk, plus I'm dripping the tassels. Love perfume, but I still rock the toy last. And it's got a stench like mess in the toy last. Feel lit, boy, spitting the facts. We gon' a mile low, we freaking divided, man. They wonder what, but it's something you're missing. Before you get this trip, you gotta put on the business. Yes, tomorrow to the ears, if you sit down and listen. We rock the freestyle, follow what's written. Watch yourselves, you can play with dogs. The more thinking garments, you can go and get them a toss. All I bring is your Hoosier nails to the cross. Easy joke now, go and brush your shoulders off. Finest on the hill, give me head. They go to me, they know that I be looking lit. I ain't talking about a shit, yo, watch on my wrist. I'm living this to feed, that's a dread. I rock the finest on the hill, give me head. They go to me, they know that I be looking lit. I ain't talking about a shit, yo, watch on my wrist. I'm living this to feed, that's a dread. I'm a bum, what you mean? You sleeping on some boy, I shine like the drink tea. At the gym, like I'm just take a dip in my knee. I'm talking about the bar now, I'm fresh and so clean. I'm so clean, it was a shame. I rock my own brothers till you call by the team name. Yo, who should wanna run in my open field? Now I'm at his house party cause I follow the trail. The bar fitted, I made my mind up. 3 times a week you gonna see me get lined up. For my savior that said it was finished. The feed after Hoosier, now I'm rockin' that true religion. Silly rabbit, I'm gonna come with this gold. You better count up them carrots. I know they see 24. Old creatures can't drill with these new clothes. Nigga, come on, yeah, come on, right road. I'm fighting On the hill, period. That's on the bed. You know that I be looking big. I ain't talking about a shit to watch on my face. I'm living in the bed. That's the trend. I'm about to find it. On the hill, period. That's on the bed. You know that I be looking big. I ain't talking about a shit to watch on my face. I'm living in the bed. That's the trend.
This is another Big League production.
Y'all look bad out there.
Keep your head up.
Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You need to know trouble don't last always. And if you feeling down about it, this is what you say. Hey, let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Positive. Simple adjective of how we ought to be. Working all together like the organs in your body. We can be a rich family like the Saudis and show each other love. That's an energy. Negativity will sting you like a bumblebee. Even positive is first on the battery. Let's read it right to left. That's how it's supposed to be. And I see women running through me and so casually. We like it more than empty. That's called an enemy. Understand what you give out is what you get. You don't expect the flowers if you can't let. Yeah. You need to know trouble don't last always. And if you feeling down about it, this is what you say. Hey, let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. You need to know trouble don't last always. And if you feeling down about it, this is what you say. Hey, let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. All brown girls, this kind of flourish, girl. That's essential like a massage or a go. Keep your modesty high like a loft and real authentic. Draw near to your Hoosier, he will keep you gentleman. And that's it, that's a loop if you stay in total compliance. Speaking caboose to the one who's covering our life. Give me the one to redo you with power to stay a shiny. Immaculate soul, you one of the life. So let's put down all the strife and become unified. Cover your displaces back and forth across the line. Transactions are connections to get you in that direction of perfection or elation. That's one of a kind, the opposite. You need to know trouble don't last always. And if you feeling down about it, this is what you say. Hey, let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. You need to know trouble don't last always. And if you feeling down about it, this is what you say. Hey, let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive.
And keep it positive on the daily basis.
Because you never know what's someone that's going through. If you see your sister fall, be there to help. Because you never know. Next time, might be you.
from Adam sin, we got a negative vibe. Kicked out the gun so deep, a month on getting by. Just like you who you was with nowhere to go. Just ain't in your life, the day I didn't know. But we won't let our sins hold us back. You would get ready together, just like the book of Acts, yo. If you ever been carved out before, I know from the word that you who should be the door. Don't you let nothing stand in your way. Come on. To every word you say, every word you say. Oh no, I know. I stopping now. We got the truth. Ain't no stopping us now. Ain't no stopping us now. We got you. Ain't no stopping us now. We got the truth. Ain't no stopping us. Ain't no stopping us now. We got you. Ain't no stopping now. We got the truth. Ain't no stopping now. We got you. Ain't no. I know from Adam's sin we got a negative vibe. Kicked out the gun so then a month on getting you by. Just like you who you was, we know where to go. The same in your life, but they didn't know. But we won't let our sins hold us back. We was getting ready together, just like the book of Acts, yo. Now if you ever been cast out before, I know from the word that you who's the evil. Left nothing but don't you let nothing stand in your way. Y'all about to sing it with me. To everyone out there, everyone out there. We got the truth. Oh, I know. Ain't no stopping now. We got the truth. Ain't no stopping us now. No stopping now. We got the truth. Ain't no stopping us. Ain't no stopping now. We got you. Go hit him with a pump. Ain't no stopping us now. We got the truth. Ain't no stopping us. Ain't no stopping now. We got the truth. Come on, say ain't no stopping us now. We got the truth. Ain't no stopping us now. We got you. Come on, say ain't no we got the truth. Tell them who you got. We got you. Hit it with the verse one time, Paul. And I got the truth. One more time. Ain't no stopping us now. We got the truth. Tell them who you got. Tell them if you got them. Ain't no stopping us now. We got you. I like that. We trying to get into it now. One more time. Tell them what you got. Ain't no stopping us now. We got the truth. Tell them if you got them. Ain't no stopping us now. I got you. Tell them if you got them. Tell them if you got them. Ain't no stopping us now. We got you. Ain't no stopping us now. We got you. Y'all know what you do when you got the truth and you got your who. What you do, Paul? Moving. I know. It's time to go. Stopping us down. We got the truth. One last time. Ain't no stopping us now. We got you.
Boston went back there and turned to DJ Quick or somebody, didn't it? Woo. Everybody all right? Yes, Two to be alive. Isn't that right? I appreciate I put a call out for Yehudi. Isn't that right? So you wasn't Yehudi, you're the love of a man booty. Isn't that right? You got to be Yehudi. Isn't that right? Yehudi the only way. Isn't that right? Celebrate. That's what we come to do. Isn't that right? Ain't no stopping us now. We got him. That's why it says, speak it in yourself. Shireen, song, and Ruachni, Shireen. Make it melody in your law to Yahuwah. Isn't that right? That's what the book said. That's all we're doing, what the man told them. Isn't that right? We got rid of them church hymns. Tell them a charge to keep out. You need to pay it off. Everybody know you keep charging, you don't get debt. Need to pay something off. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Pay your debt. And I pay your fare. Isn't that right? We're doing this thing like the man told us to do it. Isn't that right? I appreciate Mr. Hoover for sparing us another Yom to the Layla. I mean, from the Layla to the Yom. He did keep us, too, from a Yom to the Layla, and now we went from Layla to Yom again. One more again. One more again, and consider to get it right. Appreciate all my people, everybody, those listening, pressing, those still recovering. We miss y'all. Y'all hang in there. Isn't that right? Don't faint. Don't quit. Time come out of the while, he'll let you learn to appreciate these little times and things you think a little bit out. Just get up and just go when you want to. And the man comes and put an affliction on you. That affliction comes, now you have to consider. I saw somebody put something in the thread this morning. Well, there's a lot of stuff. I was strolling and said, read. I was like, God almighty. I thought I read the whole book. Somebody said, who put that in there? Oh, anonymous. I was looking at it. Somebody put a bunch of stuff. It was just time, I guess, exposing a lot of stuff they're doing with it. So did y'all not read it? Y'all didn't say it? Nobody said it for real? I can tell we know you ain't said it. We can't. I can tell you're still trying to learn how to work the camera on their phone, ain't it right? No, so who else seen it? There's a bunch of stuff they kept saying, read. Y'all didn't see that? For real? I could have been on the person. It just had a. So I was the only one that got caught up. It said read. I thought it was somebody. Who? In the main thread. I don't know who put it in there. It was a lot of stuff. It was just talking about a lot of different things were going on. That's amazing. I'm the only sucker read it, huh? I'm not on the sucker, but it was interesting. It had a lot of different stuff. Guess somebody called itself exposing the system on a lot of ends. They had JFK, and one of the clips had JFK and what's the other guy? Lyndon Johnson, both of them speaking. Oh, actually, you ought to see it. And JFK was telling them how they need to be able to control the weather. Oh, you want to look? Oh, it's a real film. You ought to see it. He was telling them about how they need to be able to control the weather. And Lyndon Johnson came on next and he talked because, you know, he told them that they need to be able to control the weather. He said, he that controls the weather rules the world. He said, we need to control the weather. I said y'all look at a thing before we put it down. When the Senate brought in some people from, I guess the NSA and them, they were asking them about them, was it true they had a machine that could control the weather? He said, yeah, we do. He said they've been able to do that since back in the 60s. See, a lot of the time you look at these disasters coming, you know, it's all still in the hands of Yahuwah because Yahuwah getting the ability to do it. It's the fact that you're dealing with people that sitting here, the people don't even realize these catastrophes that coming up are fears that make you give up your rights. Yeah. See, when this is what you look at, just like the people in Lebanon, the people in Syria, the people in now going to be Turkey, the same thing going to happen here eventually. They just, see, everywhere else is makeshift. They're just trying to see what's the behavior of the people when you do it. See, when the people can't eat and the people don't have anywhere to stay and the people are devastated by sickness and disease, the people are going to turn to their government. You're supposed to turn to your Yahuwah. Yeah. See, the government is not my Yahuwah. See, people like me, they'll label me as, I guess, against the system. I'm against the system to the effect of we need to establish a system that allows every man, every woman, every boy, and every girl an equal opportunity. Right. You know what I'm saying? Your trust in your religion, that's your business. I've been with you. That's your business. I'm not I'm not the person, or I wouldn't be the person to make somebody take on the religion. So, you know, there are people that would. If you don't like Islam, will put Sharia law, and you know, pretty much you're against Sharia law, then they're gonna kill you. This is not our home. It's not our place to enforce it upon somebody else. In our home, in our house, we can enforce our religion and our rules. But the thing that I appreciate about Mr. Yahuwah, I took this by choice. I think that every man, every woman, every boy, and every girl should have the same opportunity. When it comes down to something for your betterment, your welfare, for your salvation, that needs to be something you need to choose for yourself. You can get a person to do something in a crisis or in a situation, but how dedicated are they to it if that's not really how they feel? I'm only here, and I'm here because this is how I really feel. It ain't because I felt like this before COVID. I felt like this before 9/11. You know, those weren't the situation that turned me. It was the storms, it was the bombing that was going on inside my life that made me make a change. And I decided to make a choice for myself. And I wouldn't think it would be fair to come along now and say, since I had an opportunity to make a choice to stay out or come in, I don't think it would be fair for me to come along and enforce upon another person to say, you don't come in, then you should die and I should kill you. That's your choice. When it comes down to your soul, you have to consider how valuable are you? You can look at the exterior structure. It's going to fade and fall away. I used to have a head full of hair and all black hair, one a gray inside. But time just show you, I put a lot into myself. It didn't profit nothing because eventually it all fade away. He told her before, he said, all the glory of man is as a fading flower. Anybody ever, any women, y'all ever received flowers before? Aren't they beautiful when you get them? How long do they last? You know what they tell you? That's the glory of man. So how much can you put in them flowers? You can go get you ever put them in a beautiful vase, a vase, and water them and put the other little stuff in there with it that come with the flower to keep them? How long did they last? He said, that's the glory of man. And all your beauty and all your height, you're going to still fall away and fade away. You can do all the exercise and all the putting on, all the dying and marking you want to do. All your glory going to fade away. And now we had to start looking at Yahuwah, somebody, the existing one, who glory don't fade, who years remain the same. That's why I serve him. What you going to do? The man still remain the same. He hadn't changed. He hadn't moved over. He felt a certain type of way about something now. He said, I felt this way the whole time. The whole time, he said, I've been consistent. If it been any inconsistency, it's been us. If there been any changes, it's been us. People say, well, I've been in this way for 40 years or 50 or 60 years. He said, when I started, I was in the way, and I won't ever get out of it. He the existing one. Y'all got it? I appreciate the fact of his existence and what he allows us to know about him, because it gives us a depth of comprehension and gives us a mindset to sit down and consider how we have to adjust ourselves and how we have to be willing to be more, more dedicated to what it is that we're doing without being moved. Very few people can do that. Situations, circumstances, financial issues, it can all come and it can dampen and it can make a change of how you feel about him, or how you serve him. You know, regardless of what we've done, he never changed how he felt about us. He's hated actions that we've done, but he still loved us. And to prove it, he gave his only begotten. All he had. He didn't have any other. He's just the only one. This is the one that came from me. Y'all got it? Set him forth just for you and I, just to show you how much you care about us. Sometimes you can feel like nobody care about you. I'll be honest with you. You would be lying to yourself. Every one of us, we've lied to ourselves to feel like we all alone and nobody that cares. You think about it. You've been the one separated from him. He done told us, with open arms, he's been sitting waiting on us to return back to him. Isn't it? He even told us in the book of Jeremiah, he said, though you played the harlot with many lovers, he said, return to me, so I take you back. You know, he said, it was written? He said that if a man had given his wife a bill of divorcement and if she left him, he said if she had gone to somebody else, he said after that, she couldn't come back. He said, though you did it with many lovers, he said, yet return to me and I'll take you back. You know, he lived that, he's kind of like Smokey Robinson. You know what Smokey Robinson said? I don't care what they say about me, and he don't care. He said, I don't care what they do. All he cared about was being with us. That's all he cared. He said, I don't care what they say. He said, that's what they say. That if a man wife leave him, and he gave her a bill of divorcement, and she put her, if she went with another man, the Torah said she could not return. He said after that she couldn't come back, she defiled. He said, return him and I'll take you back. He said, I ain't gonna tell no lie, try to play hard nigga like these guys out here. I'll never take you back. You forget it. He said, if you come, I'll take you back. That was for me. What you do when there's a writing already say you can't come back. See, a lot of time what we do, really it's based about how people look at us. And how people feel about us. It's not the truth. He said, it wouldn't be the truth. He said, I would be a liar if I said I didn't want you back. I'd be a liar. He said, I'll take you back. I don't care about it. I'll take you back. His love has always been, his heart has always been consistent for him. We've been inconsistent. Because we'll have a hang up about something. Some will make us mad. Some we don't like. Some ain't work out. He said, I've been consistent the whole time. He said, I've been the same way. It's just, if you look and see, it been your way that been unequal. He said, my way been equal. He said, everything I've done, he said, if a man turn for what he done and he been doing right, he said, I'll forget everything he done. He said, now if a man turn away from everything he doing wrong and do what's right, he said, I'll forget everything he done. He said, you judging yourself. Aren't my ways equal? Aren't your ways unequal? You know what you say? Don't make no difference. You repent, I'll never forgive you. He said, not me. If you'll stop doing it, he said, I'll forget about it. That's if you're doing wrong, I'll forget about it. And if you're doing right and you stop doing it, I will forget about it. He said, you judging yourself. He said, my way, y'all don't think that fair? But you know what we look at, if it's me, if I turn now. I said, man, I put all this time in, you'll just let that go. He said, once you stopped it, I forgot about it. He said, but I'm the same guy, once you stop doing wrong, forget about it. That was the mafia tell, I forget about it. He said, forget it. You trying to explain it. He said, forget about it. Don't even worry about it. I forgot it. I put it away. Tell me that ain't fair. How many times you messed up? It might be people who messed up in their marriage or in a relationship, and you know how hard you have to work to try to make that up. If you said something offensive, you did something. Anybody been in a situation, something like that? And you have to work so hard to try to fix it. And that's always right here. Anything remotely you do, where it's at? We know what he's saying. Forget about it. Forget about it. No, I just want to say again, he said, forget about it. I already forgot about that. That's how fair he is. It would seem like it's not right when it's you and you turning from what you're doing was right. But when you turning from what you're doing wrong, he said, forget about it. Tell me that ain't fair. See, you don't want the part that puts you to where you got to start over. But what about the part where he come in, he said, I forgive you for that. We can move forward. It never happened. You got to appreciate a man like that. You got to appreciate a man like that. Otherwise, you know how it's people who've given up in relationship because they just feel like I can't keep fighting that omen, you know what I'm saying, that you keep holding on my head. Because some people will hold over your head and pitch you down so much to where you'll never get past. You just say, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and go. See, I knew I can't win. I'm never going to get past it with you. I'm never going to grow. We're never going to get to a place to where we can be new. So I'm just going to stop it. With him, he said, forget about it. He said, it'll never come. He said, I'll cast that in the sea of forgiveness. I'll put that thing away. You don't never have to worry about it again. That's why it's important to sit down and consider. Listen, life struggles will make you question a lot of things. It'll make you look at things and just look like, but why? But why? And there's no answer because there's so many things going on. To get an answer to one thing still leave so many other things unopened and unanswered. Then you just have to sit down and just consider yourself and your relationship with your Creator. You do. I encourage every man, every woman, every boy and every girl, search and see for yourself. I don't want to just grab something because everybody got something. You know what I'm saying? I want to get something because it's right. That's it. I just want to get something that, that's right for us. You know what I'm saying? It's right for me. Whether other people see it that way or not, you got to see it for yourself. For years I wonder, why people get into these religions or these other religions. Don't they know? And then sometimes you ask yourself, some people don't want to know. How many of y'all had imaginary friends? Anybody had? At any time. Now, don't try to play like you ain't crazy, nigga. Everybody had one. So let me get it straight. Let me see the folks. Don't put your hands up now. Where's who put our hands up? We the only crazy folks in here. Rest of these folks ain't never had no imaginary friend in their life. Hey, you ever, because you wanted something, that's something you put up for yourself. It wasn't that you talk with anybody. It's just something for yourself, a comfort or whatever it was, so you wasn't by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Sandra, you have one? Sandra said, not me. She said, I had these kids all my life. She said, I ain't got no room for no imaginary friends. Daddy said, she better not get none. The grocery bill will go up. You shouldn't have to feed them. You know what I'm saying? That's the good thing about them. You can put them away when you get ready. You ain't got to give them baths or nothing to buy them nothing to eat. But with that, because people tend to need something there, something that kind of works with them that's not a critic of them. You know what I'm saying? Something that kind of can kind of coexist with them. And that's the thing that people do, because that's why people pick these religions. It gives them something. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I look at it because it establishes me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need an imaginary friend again. I don't need that. What I had when I was a kid or whatever the other things, these alter egos or whatever people might create or do for themselves. It's the fact of having a creator that exists. You know what I'm saying? He exists through what he says. He gives the vitality to the word, you know what I'm saying? And makes it what it is that I can hold to it. It's the fact that what he stated, I can see it come to pass. I can see things unfolding the way that he subscribed it to us, that it would happen. You know what I'm saying? That it makes you come back to consider the things you see. I remember years ago reading Romans 1 and about, I think it's 19, might be 18. When he talked about the invisible things of Elohim are clearly seen. I'll be honest with you, I moved right, and then it said God. I just actually moved right past it. Because I don't know, in all honesty, just as a man thinking, if something's invisible, how do you see it? So that in itself was kind of wrapped up in an enigma. But I was told, you don't question God. It's just things he don't want us to know. And that's just what it is. And I'm hearing, and it said, the invisible things of God are clearly seen. I'm trying to figure, the invisible through me. Because if it's invisible, it's not seen, correct? So when you say it's clearly seen, that's kind of throwing in a sense, but then it's because of what my intelligence level was and what I knew about him. See, until you start looking at, through his craftsmanship is how you see him. Let me tell you something. Just like, y'all ever seen Michelangelo? Picasso. Hold on. We're going to do something different today. Okay? We're going to play a game. Everybody do like this right here for me. When you see me do like this to you and I'm looking at you, I want you to read my mind what I want you to do. This, huh? That long table? Get to him on that. I was saying, who put that up there? That was some interesting information, though. It really was. I still in that chat. I just talked to that man now. I said, you want me to keep your name off that board? I can't really say. I said, so you don't come in here with trouble. But no, but with the, but he wanted us to, like Picasso and Michelangelo, these different people. You know how people know them today? Who know? You know, as people can look at that and say, that's a Rembrandt. But the people who do that, do they know Rembrandt? Have they actually seen Michelangelo? Picasso? And they can look and say, that's a Picasso. You said, how do you know that's a Picasso Rembrandt? They said, see, you can tell by the way he styles, by the way he paints. It's certain strokes they put in their painting. That's what they'll get people they'll call experts. They'll come in, they can identify a fake from a real. You said, how you can do that? It's people like, have any of y'all ever met Abraham Lincoln? Seen him in person? But guess what? It's people who can look at his writing and pick up and tell you, say, that's authentic. Because they pick up things on his stroke. They'll pick up an expert handwriter. They'll pick up things, it's like certain people that are copy. They'll copy, but they'll miss certain little pieces that somebody said, that's not his stroke. You said, that's crazy. How could you identify with him not him having some original works that he's done and comparing some original writings? You can say, this is consistent with the behavior of his writing or behavior of his painting. Y'all understand that? There's some people can pick up Beethoven over some other art because they can pick up certain tunes or the way they play. You know what I'm saying? You'll play, you say, somebody else here, they say, you play just like Beethoven. There's somebody who's an expert that can pick up key sounds. They'll say, it's not. You don't. You can fool the other people, you can't fool them because they know the original. They pick up, see, even though they're hitting keys, it's certain things they might do, how they might linger a key. And somebody whose ear that's acute to the sound that understands them can pick that up. So I need you to understand this. The invisible things of Elohim, now you got it. Now you got it. I pick him up on a stroke. I can pick him up on a sound. You know, he told us about stand ye in the ways, the Darakim. What did he told us to do? See, and what did he want you to do? As for the old ancient, where is the who? And when you find it, and then you should find, we're going to find the rest. We'll find the rest, shalom, the prosperity, the health, the peace. And he said, also, I set over them watchmen. What were they saying now? Their ear was acute, they could hear the sound. See, when you're a person that actually become familiar with him, you start to look at different things when people try to style it to see, is it actually conducive to his work? Certain sounds or different things they tell you start looking at, is that actually conducive to their work? Because he realized, you just tell me, go, I need somebody I need to be able to listen to. Oh, I'm looking and I'm seeing and I'm asking questions, I'm looking for an answer. He said, start listening to certain sounds. I need you to listen to them, right? These are cadence that's given. In the military, they used the trumpet. They used to use, I don't know if they do it anymore. They would use the trumpet to get them up and different things. And those guys knew exactly what it meant. They used to put one to put them to sleep. They knew that it was time to be done. They ain't no time to jump up and get ready to start running out there with no gun. You're like, you're not acute. They train you for certain things. You knew certain sounds. And then that's the same thing that Yahuwah started to know. We start listening to certain sounds. Like here, a thundering ground with broken bar, thundering sound. Pick up the pieces. Pad on opportunity would have kept me. So, you know what I'm saying? But that sound. You see what I'm saying? It's the sound. And that's what he wanted to do. He said, I need you to listen. I need you to stop and listen to the sound of it because it's a distinction in it. Some people jump up and they do it. You're like, no, that's not what it's saying. It's not calling for that. And see, just like my different artists and different people in here, certain sound make a difference with what lyrics you're gonna say. Right. You can't put hardcore rapping on Lanita Baker, Sweet Love. You be looking trying to say, that is crazy. We killing them niggas, sweet love. You know what I'm saying? You're saying. That's crazy. That don't go together at all. See, it strikes you and puts you off. And his end is to get us to try to consider. So we're in a real good position for the fact that we had the opportunity to sit down to consider. That's really important. People, you might not realize it. You'd be surprised how many quick decisions people had to make. I'm talking about right now, quick, right now. You ain't really got a whole lot of thinking. And then later, you know how many times people going back and saying, if I had the opportunity to read it, I could have caught that. If I had the opportunity to sit down and think, right now, make it right now. Come on, it's right now. It's right now, now nothing. What that put you, how much time you got with now nothing? I don't want to lose out, so I grab him. Later on, you realize you said, I should have chose nothing. Well, he giving us that opportunity just before. Dave, we know that Jujuba Rudy bitch was going to fail, Dave. When you come back, Dave, we're going to need that check on that boy, Dave. Dave, you been here today. Let me tell you, Dave, you know how many folks been waiting on you to fall, Dave? Dave, just stick your head in the door, Dave. Listen. Y'all look, how many of y'all been waiting on Dave to fall? How many of y'all been waiting on Dave for that help to fall down one time? I know it. I'm with you, Dave. You know it. I know. You man, you tell him. I know that. Y'all niggas be hating on Dave. We don't still need that check when you come back, Dave. But no, that's all right. Well, we appreciate Miss Yahuwah. I said, give her the opportunity to get it right. That's all. I just want to get it right. Don't want to get it wrong. You know, and I rehearse and go over it. And you know, I think the biggest hurdle, you know, and I appreciate how he allows you to adjust the change. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't know everything that was entailed on what you got to do. And had I known all of this, I wouldn't have came. Because it's too much. Everybody here, the truth be told, I didn't know everything I had to do. If those people would have knew before they left out Mizraim that they were going to have all that, them people wouldn't have left. Ain't common sense. When you come out, had he told them when you come out, later I'm going to slay over half of y'all, you'd be like, I'm going to stay here and keep working. Ain't that right? Man, y'all go ahead, man, be safe. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not, because pretty much people know who they are. Like, I already know I'm going to get killed. I'm not going out there. He had to lead them people out and get them enough. And as they will grow, I can adjust and give you more. He'd have gave them that tour while they were sitting inside Mizraim. They wouldn't have left. They wouldn't have left. It was safer to stay there. Man, them folks heard that man talking and they started removing. They feared they were going to die. They was in Mizraim dying. They're like, at least this is a slower death. I just take my chances here. That's what people do now. So it got to be introduced to a person, and as you grow, your understanding begins. Like I told you, the invisible thing, invisible through me. There was no reason for me to try to figure out, how do you see something? Y'all remember seeing the movie Invisible Man? What did he have to do for you to see him? Put on a hat, wrap himself up into something. Remember that? He would have to do that then, put a coat on. Then he'll take the coat and take it. Now he's invisible. He's like, I don't know where he at. Unless he moves something or close something or open something. He said, that's me. I wrap myself up in Yahushua. Hello? Yeah. That's what he did, so you can see him. We need to see him. Your book had told her, he said, Elohim is with us. He told her, he said, that's what Emmanuel, he said, Elohim is with us. That's what his name was. He was with us. So he had to do that. And I appreciate the fact that he allows things to go on. And things we watch and we see, he said, that's the only way you're going to understand it. Although it's a television show, how else would you going to understand it? How would you have understood the invisible things Elohim are clearly saying? I just went. People said, well, I would have figured, of course you would have. Figured out right to your destruction. We have to understand to start looking at his work. You know what I'm saying? His work, like, particularly when great artists paint, you don't believe it, they signature their stuff. Did y'all know that? Elohim is signature this. That's why he give you the Ruach HaKodesh. That's his seal on it. You know what people know when they see you? That's some Elohim work. That's Yahuwah's work. He signatures it. Hello? Are y'all all right? Yes, sir. That's his seal. That's how people gonna know whether that's his work. Y'all got it. So you can see the works of the flesh, and you see the works of the Ruach. That's what Galatians told you about, right? So he has a signature that says, this is my work. Just like Yahushua. That's how we knew it was his work. After he moved, what did they say? The centurion. This is his signature. This is his word. They had to see it play all the way out. I've seen artists, and when you start drawing your original song, how they might start it. So you saying, I don't know where they going with this. Until they finish, you say, wow. That's what happened with Yahushua. Think about it, he just came here as a baby. How am I look at him and just know it then? Let me just keep watching to see how you work. Let me just keep seeing how things play out. Later on, I'll recognize it. You'll see whether or not this is penmanship. Y'all got it? So we go through a lot of different versions sometime, and look, it might kind of like it throw you. It's really not. It's just trying to get down to the, well, I guess kind of like with the lowest common denominator. We're just trying to get down to the most simplistic part of knowing exactly how we're supposed to halal. Because, you know, everybody got a different way they view things. It's going to be because of culture. It's going to be because of education level. It's going to be because of logic with people. But so if you start dealing with logic, you got to look at what's Elohim's logic. You got your logic. I don't want to use my logic. I want to see what's his logic. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What conditions play a part to you getting what it is he told you to get? Versus, to me, it would seem as though none of those are predicated on your salvation. To me, it seems. And I wouldn't give it to you. It'd be detrimental to your health. So to come down to our salvation, we have to do a lot of work. It's a lot of work because you're trying to get to Elohim that has a simplistic way, but people done complicated the way. And because they complicate the way, it ain't as easy as it seems. Y'all got it? It is. Look at how much stuff we got now. People today possess more than their parents have. A lot of us have more than what our parents have. We have more things. They will fight, and more things you get, the more things you become obligated to, you're attached to, you got to keep up, you got to have. It's got to have this, it needs time, it got to be fixed, it got to be taken, it got to be careful, and that pulls a part of you too. All of it pulls a part of us. So you have to learn how to possess all things yet possessing nothing. That's wild, ain't it? Hello? How you do that? Possess all things yet possess nothing. Look at Yahushua. In the book of Tahalim, he told you, he said, I know all the files of Shamayim. How did he know that now? By name. You know, you look at, oh, what it is? What? He said, I know all of them by name. He said, I own all the cattle upon 1,000 hills. He said, if I were hungry, I wouldn't tell you. He said, for the rice is mine, and the fullness. Can you imagine you sitting around and you had to be being born in a stable, and you own everything? Would that kind of be like owning all things yet possessing none of them? Can you imagine you had to have somebody have a room stayed for you just to go sit down and have a dinner in somebody else's house? Somebody else have a donkey sitting there and you had to go and they had to say you have need of it. Versus it's yours, shouldn't have to ask nobody nothing. Possessing all things yet having nothing. See, he taught us that. You can have things, don't let things have control of you. Be able to release from them. Don't let things be your whole going and doing. For a lot of us in life, getting things is important for us. Having things is important. You're a human. He don't want us to have things. He just don't want things to have us. And a lot of times the problem that come with us, things wind up possessing us. You might not think it. Do it. When it pull your mind, when you can't think, when you got to be concerned about it and worry about it. And it's his time. What you think? You allow him to possess you. Because everything you got, he loaned it to you. The more we understand that, the more we get the knowledge of that, then the more we learn how to kind of navigate. You know what I'm saying? How to move. You know, how much you can put in the things you got. A lot of times, people put their whole heart in what they got it. And we don't want to be those type of people now. We want to put our whole being inside of Yahuwah and learn if he give you something, he only give it to you because it's a tool to use, and it ain't just for you, it's for somebody else. Hello? Look at Yahuwah. Look at Yahushua. Everything he got was for his benefit and for ours. Even the mouth. Now we know he came out here for a malkut. Did he not? Did he not come down here for a malkut that he could have his own malkut? But then he taught about you in there eating and drinking with him. He talking about setting you up and letting you have something too. So see, even after, it was still about you. It was about you, him coming, and his mood. And it was about you in his zawal. You would think that he got up, really, I'm done with y'all niggas. I ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Everybody, it's on you. You know, he still wants you to come in and inherit. I'm still working. He said, even after I move, he said, I'm still working. After I got up, if anything, I've been like, I'm done. Dust myself off, I'm done. He said, no, I got to go back. I got to prepare a place. Still got right up and had to go to work. Can you imagine that? I got these holes in my hand and my feet. You know what I'm saying? I got this wound in my side. And you're like, man, what you going to fix yourself? No, I got to go and prepare a place for you. That where I am, it's always about you. You don't consider, so, you know, it's an insult to him to feel like, for you to say, nobody cares. You all alone. I mean, all the way up to Moot, this man died. Then he had to get right up from now and still working. And then on top of that, he's sitting up there right now, appearing right there in the presence of Elohim for us. You won't want him to see you, not you. You want him to see you through him. You wouldn't want him to see you. Because see, the problem we got, and when he look at you, Elohim don't look at the outward appearance. He look on the law. He look on the intent. He look on the purpose. So it's better if he look through him to see us. Hello? Our purpose not always 100% what it's supposed to be. Our drive is not all we got always toward him. So it's better that he see us through him. Somebody had to stand in the presence of him for us. Somebody had to sit there to appear in this man. For me and you. Did y'all know that? Wow. Guess you thought you had did enough when you got wet and dried off. That was it. He appeared right there before Elohim for me and you, for you and I. Give us an opportunity. Get this word, go through him, look at it, sit down and get some understanding so we know how we supposed to please Elohim. That's how it says, so you would abound. See, when you please him, you abound more and more. Where we get that from? Hands. 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 Oh, goodness. Oh. Hold on. Oh, I had a hallway hand. Y'all know how like that. He beat you, Bishop. Ed, why you put your hand on Ed? You got an answer. What's the answer? Come on, Ed. Let's roll. Come on, Ed. Come on, Ed. Yeah, okay. They don't tell them. Let me tell you what I caught these guys doing. Do what they do. They look around, enough hands up, and they throw it up. Then they like, he ain't gonna get to me. He gonna go with the first hand, but then it looked like I was in it. You see what I'm saying? I got it. You got one? All right, hold on. Let me see what I got. Hallway. Ryan, you got that answer? Tell me what happened. Yeah, that's right. He's right. It's from Barashit. See, when he made everything in the garden in the beginning, he told me it was two. That means it pleased him. And he told it to multiply. How's what we know about it? And think about why it was two. He just told it to do something and it did it. He said, let the grass come forth, yielding herb and seed. You ain't gonna believe what they did. They left there and they went to Pike Nursery. They went there and they got a special, or they had a coupon, and that spring, some flowers were gonna be delivered, and they were gonna put them down there. All they did was what he told them. They just came forth and they just started producing herb, yielding seed. That was it. He said that's two. All you did was what I told you. People started trying to find out. I'm trying to think. I mean, I want to do something like real special. You don't want to obey. You don't want to obey. Because all he told him to do, he said, that's two. With Yahushua, everybody look at it. He said, that's my yet to die being, beloved son, or Kabi B son, beloved. In whom? You ain't going to believe why. He just did what I told him. Everybody have made it so much complicated. Why wouldn't he? He did what I asked the garden to do. Just do what I asked you to do. That's it. Do what I asked you to do. And you know what? That throw people. That's too simple. It's some more. That's your problem. That's all I want you to do, what I told you. Guess what? Guess what? He said, and now you can abound. More and more. You know why? Because you know what commandments we gave you. See, in the fact that they could obey it and comply and do it, so then you know. Then you know, right? How could you do something you don't know? Is it possible to do something? You can't. So guess what? You know. That can hurt you and that can help you. Because with Adam, he knew and he didn't do. That can hurt you. It's a benefit to us to know and to do it. Y'all got it? Okay. I just want to make sure we got it. All right, we're going to get ready to try to move forward, talk to y'all a little bit. You see fit. If y'all wanted to. Ain't open on these yet. Okay. Look at Romans. Some stuff we didn't even finish yesterday, did we? A couple of things we were talking about, other stuff. Let's say by 15:4. All right. What was done over here? Okay. All right, let's go. Listen. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Yeah, hey, preacher, hold on. I thought somebody behind the carrot. Look, I got to do the kato sarah. Appreciate that. Okay. Listen.
Whatever for Nikatab in the past, all for our Lamed.
And we read the other verse that said Kodash, correct?
Yes, sir.
Kodash, okay. In the past.
Nikatab, so that through endurance and through the Nakum of the Ketubim, your call we might have.
Something interesting. Let's look at something come to my mind. This morning, we'll say, I don't know how to read it. Let's say, your cause a call. They call Ezekiel. Your cause a call, which means that Yahuwah strengthens. Let's just look at something. Ezekiel chapter 9, that they'll call it your cause a call, Yahuwah strengthens. Hands on Yahuwah, a situation where Yahuwah strengthened before. Rod, think about it. Can't think of it. You know the answer. Who all hand went up? 1, 2, 3. I saw him shoot up. Who hand was up first? Ian hand was up first. All right. Ian about to stretch your arm out the muscle. Let's see what he got. We'll get him. It'll be some more. Let's see what we got. What we got, Ian? Exactly. I like that. You want to say that? Yeah, he asking Yahuwah to strengthen that one more time. That's the same answer you had. So, what you had, Ryan? No, tell him what he did. Yeah, that's true. He did strengthen him. What you had, Okay, I'm gonna check because we done said that like 3-4 times. That's all. It ain't nothing personal. Yeah, it is personal. Go and put that check up there. Nah, he good. No. Well, that's correct too. That is true. So it's always something to think about. So you think about if a person weak, and a lot of times people will go to Tahalim. They'll go find something in the book of Psalms. When we know how, it's like a library. They'll affix a library a certain type of way. You'll put biographies, fiction, other different things. They have science fiction. You know, they'll break it down into different categories. So depending on what your expert studies or your pleasure are, you know what I'm saying, you can go there and you can go to that area, and those books will reference what it is you're looking for. You got what I'm saying? Encyclopedias, they'll do it, and they'll do it by letter category, A through C. You know what I'm saying? They'll break them down in different areas. So if it's something you're looking for in a certain area, it helps you where you can get more to your subject matter quicker. Well, for us, the way our scrolls were set up, so you can get to your subject matter. You know what I'm saying? Look at what he told you. See if that's Oriah 24:44. They'll call it Luke. And see that book, y'all shining. You know what I'm saying? He's shining. Y'all got it, which means he's manifesting for us, because we know what light does. Light make manifest, or I think the definition for light means to make clear. So the fact that now we learn he has a book written or have a scroll written that's called Yahshine. You know what I'm saying? Which means he's manifest. He makes clear. So we're going through to see where he makes clear. If I'm like, I'm kind of confused on some certain area, this is a book I can kind of target an area that lets me know I want to see things be made clear. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we kind of fogged in mind on certain things that we're trying to see and trying to do. But he's proven himself by doing it before. He brought them out Mizraim. They was in Kashak. Yeah? See that? We'll see how that work out. This is Oriah 24. They call it Luke. Are y'all learning anything? Well, sometimes y'all be looking, I don't know what y'all got going on. I know this thing wrapping up faster than what people know. Y'all have no idea how fast it's wrapping up. Okay, y'all see. Everything y'all saying right, y'all not paying attention. He wrapping this thing up. He wrapping up real fast and people missing it. Now I can see how it'll happen. Because you even look at him and talk about his destruction, how things happen. Because it don't make sense that people would still be married and giving him marriage. If the world were in it right now, who would be trying to get married? Right now, the world, who would be trying to get married? You waiting to get married, correct? Would you try, right now, the world of brother is ending. Would you be trying to get married right now? While the world ending? Come on, get this, Chris. Come on, Chris. Come on, Chris. Come on, Chris. Man, blazing everybody. He talking, where everybody at? He's like, we're running for our life. The average person. He thought about it. He said, should I say yeah? We had to get that check out of him. So, but you think about it. If the world were ending as people would know it to be ending, the average person wouldn't be doing what they're doing. He said he's going to be marrying and giving him marriage, and they were going to be drinking and eating. Nobody would be doing that if your house was, your literal house was on fire. How many of y'all would be sitting down and say, well, I got to get something to eat? How many of y'all say, well, let me get me something to drink? I mean, your house, it's all that I say, your whole house. But how many of y'all be sitting and say, let me just go in and get me something to eat? I'm hungry. Man, I'm going to sit out and drink me a beer. Because it wouldn't be common sense. So guess what? It's set up in a way that these people don't recognize it. That's the only way it would make sense. Why would they be doing it? You think those people, let me tell you something. You either believe something by information or by actions executed, okay? That's it. You don't believe it by information or actions you seen executed. You think those people in Sodom and Gomorrah would have still been homosexual and he knew he was finna burn that place up? Those people had no idea. They were trying to sleep with the Malachim. Let's be honest. That you actually know these men come from Elohim. And they are here to burn this place up because we're gay. Some of those people would have repented. You don't think about this? So now we're talking. Why didn't they, instead of Luke's house, why didn't they go to the other people's house and try to talk to them and convince them? The fact that they sat right there, the fact that it was that close to them, and they never talked to them about it. Even when they stood in the door, Luke talked to them. They never said a word to those guys. And one even told them, said, and this guy is looking at us like he's a judge. He never said nothing to him. Luke was trying to ask them not to do this. He said, these men have come to abide under my roof. And I ask you, don't do this. I got 2 daughters that never been with me. You could take them. And they snatched Luke in the door and closed and struck him with blindness. Which meaning they couldn't see anyway. And they were still hard set bent on their action and behavior. Never even told it to them. Left them right there until they destroyed. And pulled him out. Now you want to ask yourself a question. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? He showed you he could do it. They said, no, not one. Yahuwah brought Lut and his daughter out of an unclean thing, and they were clean. That's what your writing asked. Who could bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? What was Sodom and Gomorrah? He brought Lut, who they called Lot, and his daughters out, which meaning they were clean. He brought a clean thing out of an unclean thing. Okay, go figure. It was his intent. It was his intent not to say those people. Can you imagine when these people come back like that? Salvation was right there at the door. Had I known it, I'd have took it. If people would have stopped doing what they were doing right then. Listen, hold what you got right quick. We'll come in here. See if that's 11. 4, 28. 23. Matthew, see if that's 11 and 23. Let's see what happened. Well, matter of fact, go to 22. I see everybody still throw their little words in now. Listen.
But I say to you, for Tyre and Sidon, more tolerable will it be in the Yom of Mashpat than for you.
And
You, Capernaum, not to Shamayim will be exalted, to Hades will be brought,
put Sheol.
to
Hades is
Sheol
one of their
will be
Greek
brought
words.
down.
So he said that instead of them being exalted, they was exalted. They felt like they had already been lifted up to Shamayim. He said they're going to be brought down to Sheol. Listen why.
For if in Sodom had taken Malchum, the miracles having taken Malchum in you, it would have remained.
So now he told them why it was going to be more tolerable for Sidon and Tyre. He said because had the same works been done in Sidon and Tyre had been done in Sodom and Gomorrah, he said it would have remained to this day. Do y'all know if those Malachi would have told them, said, listen, we down here, we finna destroy that place because of the homosexuality and the wickedness in him, and we're gonna burn this whole city up in Mashpat, judgment. Do you not know all them people would have repented? Remember, Abraham told him if it be 50, he said, I'll spare it. He said, what if it's 40? He said, if it's 40, I'll spare it. He said, what if it's only 30? He said, if it's 30, I'll spare it. All he needed was 20. He told me, what if it's 10? He said, get out. He said, get them out. I'm going to destroy the city. So they could have gotten anywhere from about 20 to 50 people that would have repented. He said, and I'd have let the city stay. He said, I never let them hear it. But guess what? I let the same works happen here with you. That didn't happen there and they got destroyed. Now, it's going to be harder for you than it was for them. So for some of us that feel like it's a better thing that you gotten to repent or getting the teachings of repenting, the fact that you won't acknowledge it, he says it's going to be worse for you in the day of Mashpat than it's going to be for them. He said, because had they heard it, they'd have repented. And it would have still been here to this day. So when you're getting it, a lot of times you take for granted. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you don't consider it's going to be harder for you. He even told you to them that know his Adon's will and did it not. He going to beat them with many stripes, but them that didn't know, he said, I'm going to beat them with few stripes. See, that's something we can consider because of the fact you knew. You know better. Hello? Okay. Maybe it's not that important. Let's go ahead and look at Oriel right quick. So your death ain't the only thing you're going to suffer. You still got to suffer when you go to Sheol. What, 11, 20? Well, I'm sorry, Oriel, 24, 24. They call it Luke. All right, listen.
And he said, now unto them,
Do what?
these are the Dabarim of me, which I spoke to you, still being with you,
See that while I was with you.
that it behooves to be fulfilled all things,
Must
having been katab in the Torah of Moshe,
having been written in the Kitab of Mushah
and the Nabaim,
and in Nabaim,
and the Tahalim
doing what?
concerning me.
Start giving you order of how things were put together, how a book was put together systematically, how things were being done, and how you need to go back, and how you need to look at it, and how you need to consider it. See, a lot of times we don't consider how things, Christian church is more or less just grab something and read it, and run off and just start teaching something or start saying something or take a message to something. But we have an order to things. So while he was with them, he took them all the way back to borrow sheep, because that's the ending. The beginning is the ending. That's it. The beginning is the ending for these people. They have no idea. But because of how it's set up and it's designed, that a certain people are going to know about it. That's why these people try to keep you away from this knowledge. People don't want you to know how it's constructed. It's like a lot of time with school, teaching kids how the system is set up helps make them a better student. Some kids don't know how it's set up, and that's why they fail. They wonder why they failing and why they can't get it, because they don't understand how it's set up. The same thing with this. People don't understand why they don't get it, because they don't understand the system, how it's set up. He designated for particular people. He did. He actually designated for particular people. And through us doing what we did, it was supposed to be the attraction to draw other people to it. Now, when other people come to it, they were going to walk into a system that's already been predicated and set up, which means now they were going to start to mimic. Y'all get it? You'll start to mimic. The same thing with Yasakal, with what's it about? Ishmael. Ishmael did the same thing. He started to mimic. That was the one of the promise. Why wouldn't he mimic him? The baby wasn't mimicking him. Hello? He told you that the elder was going to serve the younger. Ishmael saw the baby. He started imitating the baby. The baby wasn't. Typically, a child will start imitating you, won't they? No, he imitated the child. That's what the people are supposed to do when they see you. Unfortunately, you tend to start mimicking everybody else, versus everybody else supposed to be mimicking you. Because, see, you to see the promise. Hello? And the only reason he's doing all this, he coming back, is because of his word. Hello? Okay. Let's see what he did. Let's see what he did then. What happened?
Then he opened their mind to understand the Ketubim.
So anybody can just get in and start reading it. He just went over it and said, I've been telling you this the whole time I've been here with you. About 3, I think it's believed to be about 3.5 years he worked with him. But then he had to open their understanding so they could understand what they were hearing and what they knew and what they were reading. So you think you can just pick this book and just go home in your private time and start reading and get it?
No, sir.
This Yahushua
That's right.
this with him.
That's right.
What's the opposite of open? Can you imagine being told something for 3 years and you've been what they call closed-minded? See, that's what we've been. That's how that's scary, that you could be there that long and still not get something. So it's that important for us to look at how we have to follow. What's his intent? Really making sure we consider that we actually get this, that we understand this is dedicated to a particular people. He was trying to show us how he was going to take them a people from a people. That's what he did. See, unlike what people would try to put it, Yasharal, Yehudi, whatever you want to call us and what we use now, we all came from a people. He just separated us. That's how we became who we were, separation. So when you hear about the separated word, it makes sense, because that's what he did. He took us from somebody. Abraham was Armenian. What they were called Syrian. These people he came from a different fault line of people. He took him from out of a people to make him a people. He didn't go to the dust and form another man. He said, no, I'm going to take me a people out of a people. That's what he did. He took him a people out of a people. So when we go back through our writings and we start to consider that matter, things come in to make sense. Even when he sat down Yasakak and Asu, he let his aim know these are two nations. I'm taking a seed and I'm going to make a nation from them. These are two nations that's in your womb. I'm going to establish me a set of people coming out from your womb. Two boys coming out of the same womb, yet I'm going to separate them. I'm going to make me a people. Hello? I'm appreciative that he's come along and he's realized I'm going to set me a people. And this people going to do a certain particular act, just like when Yahushua talked to the woman at the well. He's seeking something. He said that's what the arbiter, he's looking for something. He's seeking for something that will shakar him, that will adore him. Like they worship when you adore somebody. You'll see something, they say you'll get people like, I remember when I was growing up years, I don't know if they do that now. You had a poster of your favorite artist or somebody, you ever do that? And people do stuff and they'll write, they'll collect stuff about them. You be like, goodness, you just love such and such. He said, that's what they're gonna do for me. They will adore me. When they take my name, they try to glorify my name. He said, they're going to beautify my name. They're going to decorate my name. Y'all got it. They're going to give it a certain appearance to it. Y'all got it. So now when you look at us, he said in the Dabari Hayamim that if my people which are called by what was again? By his name, then you should be decorated. Because you decorate the Shem. So if you wear the Shem, the name, then you should be decorated. Hello? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Because you don't consider the attachment. Because it ain't about all that and people try to make it about things. It gave them a sense of understanding. Think about it, he had his name, anything to his name, it was to be decorated, be kept a certain type of order, right? That's how they learn it first. Anything you say, Yahuwah Shem, deserve this homage to it, that you bow, you stop, you acknowledge, you do. So that first. Now, I'm going to put my Shem on this house. So how would you treat that house? You're going to decorate that house. You're going to give homage to that house. You know what I'm saying? The things you're going to look at that house with a certain type of honor to it. Then he said, I don't want to come. I don't come in that house. I don't come in. You're like, I done did all that. I want to come inside you. I want to put my name on you, and I want to dwell in you. So now you got to decorate. It's a certain order how it should be kept. Then what should come in that house? Nothing unclean. Nothing that defiles itself. Nothing that goes contrary to. Because the name is there. And now he said, this is a habitation. So then we started learning when we set Jerusalem up and how things were done, it was all predicated based off of where he dwelled. And anywhere where he dwelled had to be Kudash. It had to be separated. You know what I'm saying? It had to be decorated. So he would have us to make certain ornaments and things we put on. He said, make it of gold. And use silver and use certain type of brass. I don't want any metal, I don't want any stones to use to be beaten on it. Don't beat on it with anything. Because you will realize it was sent by because of what it was. I didn't want certain things touching it or to handle it. And they understood that hands from where? Can they type? Answer. That's right. Don't touch my anointed. My Mashiach is what it is. But they would also learn it when it's set in the gun. He wasn't supposed to touch that tree, the ox. They'd have learned it in the gun. Don't touch it. Listen, the tree gave you knowledge. The tree gave, so you know, you in other trees, you just grab it. You don't even second guess. You like, just slap it down, get a little stick there, pop it down. Ain't no big deal. What about that one? Don't touch that one. Not one. He don't want us to touch that one. It's symbolic too. And guess what? It has the knowledge. It's eye-opening. We can't touch it. So how we look at this tree? Yes, sir. Like the art? Yes, you could kind of look at that. But it was yes, sir. Kudash, separated. We could look at all of that. All those different things, we would look at it as. So now, when you look at Yahushua when he came, hello? Let's think about it. Let me see. Hands, I need y'all to tell me one thing the tree could do. All right, got him down. One thing. Make one wise. Then open he that understand, they might understand the Kitabim. Would there be somebody to the tree? Yes, sir. Y'all tell me. Yes, sir. Would that be simple? Yes, the tree could make one wise. What was he doing if he just taught it to them and then he just opened their understanding and understand it? Wow. What else? Something else the tree could do. Y'all gonna let him do this? Yeah. You almost pull your arm out of the socket. You do this right here. What is it in? You ain't sure? All right, we got another one. Oh, hold on, wait. Ed, you got an answer? Is it the right answer, Ed? Is it a right answer? All right, Ed, what is it? Feed you. You know he fed 5,000 men, not include women and children, on more than one occasion. Ain't that amazing? What else could it do? Yeah. What is it? Give knowledge? I had Cam for you. What you got, Cam? I'm sure I do something. Thank you. Whew. I don't say I can do it with my back. I ain't know I had that power to that. That was hard. I felt sweat coming. Christian. Is this the answer or this a check? Is that the answer? What you gonna say? Show? So I do it with my hand behind my back. I don't mean to use all my power like that. Sometimes you use all your power to make you weak and break you down. Now what you got, John? I'm trying to. That's how I do a cough, make it come out. What if we got? Can make it like Elohim. That's what he was trying to do. That's what he was trying to do. Construct us to be like. So now you can see the similarities. Now you can see the similarities of how he actually worked and what he demonstrated. Now you can see the action. And then, you know what I'm saying? And their eyes were open. And you know that Yahushua sat down and took clay and anointed the man's eye, opened his eyes. He opened the man's eye. What was all this was symbolic to try to show us. The fact that we gave him over, they tried to give up. No, you crucified. We're going to let you do that. We just voted on it, but because we were told, touch not, taste not, handle not. For all of the perish with the using thereof. That's why these nations are going down. Because they didn't understand what they were doing. And we were clearly told in 1st, 2nd Corinthians, I think 1 Corinthians 2nd chapter, they're talking about had they known, 2nd Corinthians I think it is too. He said, had they known, you know what? They'd have never done it. You see that? That led to their destruction. They didn't know. Had they known, they wouldn't have done it. Y'all got it? That's why we knew better. When they gave them over, they tried to tell the Kohanim, they told them, and according to our law, we can't put him to death. We told them clearly, we couldn't do it because of the Torah. See, we talked about before, the Torah has such a working, the idea of it. The same thing that could come and slay a man is the same thing that give a man life. The same thing. It's a law for a seed. That a seed have to die before it can ever. Listen, it has to die before it can get life. Y'all know that? That's a law. So when you look at the law, you typically look at the law as just slaying you. But you do know you have to die before you can live. Hello? Does the embryo live inside the woman before it actually gets germinated? I'm not saying I'm shaking their head. I don't know. I don't know. Do y'all know that? It couldn't. They don't get life until it's germinated, till it's fertilized by the man's semen. So at that point, it takes on life. Well, it's the same thing we look at now. We ain't taking on life until he came here, and it germinates. I know they use for seed. I don't think seeds can screw each other. So you had the semen come and germinate because of the germinate. Rod, I'm gonna get a check, Rod. Help me out. Rod, come on, get a check. You let me answer. I'm gonna let my eye. Rod, do it back at me now. I thought we having an eye fight over here, Rod. What happened? You boy can't help me get out of there faster. Germinate, right? Correct. See, thank you. I was so not worried up here too. So at least we get new people on the board too. Are they helping y'all? How many of y'all they helping y'all out getting new people on the board? Just checking. All right. So at the end of the day, our goal is to get this understanding. Let's look at this. So now he opened the understanding, might understand the Ketuvim, the writings. And what did he say?
And he said to them, thus it is Katab was to suffer the Mashiach, and to come out from the Mut, the third Yom, and to be proclaimed in the Shem of him.
And what did it say? Be preached? I mean, I think in the over it said preach, which say that you proclaiming something. In the Shem of him.
Repentance and forgiveness of Kataim to all.
So you got to ask yourself, the fact that it was written, and this was set up and predicated on all the actions of what we knew from the Torah. First of all, whenever the act of Kataim, sins, were done, it was of necessity that there be a death. It's a necessity. A life had to be given because an action violated the law. The law was all predicated on death. Everything was death on the law. Y'all got it? So what were people, to me, looking at this, it tells me that people were waiting for something, or it was needful for something to come, because otherwise, man wasn't going to be saved. The fact that he let them know that they had something they could put confidence in, that now I'm going through so you can understand the writing. And then let you know it was a must that what was written, that he had to come, he had to suffer, and that he had to be put to death, and that he was going to come the third doom. And that's the only way you were going to get repentance and remission. Y'all got it? The repentance and the remission is the removing of. Y'all got it? The repentance, you come in remorseful, and people no doubt were remorseful, but was it ever removed? Hello? It's like some things will stay on your credit for a longer time. You'll think you'll say it should have fell off. It's not. It hadn't been no remission. So what we were looking for with Yahushua coming in, we were looking for the remission. And we were trying to get to a state of where we didn't have to come and we had to offer anymore. See, one thing became a part. Think about this. You constantly, think about all of us. Periodically or regularly, you commit katim, okay? Whether through knowledge or no knowledge. Well, there were things you had to go find particularly. It wasn't just, I'm going to keep a whole bunch of sheep. Something didn't call for a sheep. Something could have been a goat. Something could have been a turtle dove. Certain things called for a Pacific cattle. Because the red heifer was different than just a bullock. Y'all got it? So all these things set you on a search of, depending on what I've done. And this is a constant that you're doing every day and every year. Every day they're doing offerings. On Shabbat, it's double. Once a year for kafar, that they call atonement, everybody had to come and offer. And then there was a cost to it. You had to give a half a shekel. He says, for your soul. He said the rich couldn't give no more. Just say, I said, you ain't got it. I got carried. Like sometimes you go somewhere, I'm going to pay for somebody. He said, you can't pay for his. He said, he got to pay for his own. Kerry said, I ain't got it. Well, that's what he care about. So if he don't have it, that's what he care about, his soul. Because he wasn't changing nothing he said. Everybody had to give it from 20 years old. It don't make sense. Well, I ain't got it. You can't play little drummer boy. You had to get it. And if it's a cost and it's expense, he said that's only because the redemption of your soul is costing it. So they started understanding it was an expense behind committing sin. I've done something today. I've done something 3 or 4 times a day. I got to go and pay for this. I'm sending a line with a whole bunch of other people who done something. So it's a weight, and it's a stress on me, it's a burden. And the man who's offering it got to be stressed out because he got to come to the door and get it. And you got to look here. Oh, yeah. Before I can start, y'all give me a minute. I got to go offer something for myself. So you see what kind of stress. Think about you in a long line. You talking about they came out with about 600-some thousand people. Think as they grew. So what this line looking like? Downtown Atlanta traffic. With 4 wrecks, all lanes shut down. Do you see why it was a need for him to come? We needed somebody to lift the burden off of us. Not just the fact, though, it became, and he needed us to understand that I got to make it this way. Come trying to get you to stop doing it. When there's no call, you just say, Lord, I'm sorry. Keep going. I just pray later on. But for them, it wasn't no I pray let on. You got to get this right now. Yeah. And all we had was a bunch of dead animals. He was trying to look at maybe the stress, maybe the inconvenience would get them to consider, do you see what you're having to go through to get this right? And you thinking saying, man, you know what? I got to just get this. This ain't one of the things like put your GPS and see how to get around it. If it's a shortcut, you stuck. So when Yahushua was coming, he took so much off of us. Not that he gave us a license to go in to commit qatar. Like I said, what? Shall we continue in Kataim that his come may abound? Yahuwah said no. And that's what people looked at. If he took it off, what that mean? I mean, it's on. We could just do it when we get ready. No, he said no. He said no, that's not what I did. I was trying to take some of the burden off you and let you see what he actually offered you. You know what I'm saying? Taking the stain off of you. Sometimes you gotta have anybody had a stain in something they really like, realize you just got to get rid of the stain just too much. He said, well, guess what? That's what it is with Kataim. Your stain too deep. I can't do nothing with it. Really just got to dispose of it. It shows up. It's so unbearable. You try to wear it. You might say, I can get a pen and put it on there. You realize, no, I can't find nothing to fit it. It's run. I got to get rid of it. Don't y'all know that's what sin is? You can't cover it up. You can't hide it. It shows up. And that's why he look at, I got to get rid of you. So he comes with a man now, you ain't going to believe it. He can remove the stain. The stain, because you know the stain you get from sin is death. It's the best thing. You getting towels and wiping and them Clorox pen, you can't get rid of it. It's death. That's what he came to do. He came to take away the stain of death. He took it away from him. Everybody got it on. Once you committed qatar, you got it on you. You just don't see it. Why you think you're dying? He sees it. It's all over you. It's a little mark that's sitting on you saying, die. It's a stain. And this man came to take the stain away. That you don't have to die the second time. You got to pay for what you've done. And it's important you pay for what you've done. So you'll realize the severity of what you've done. You realize the consequence of what you've done. And then you want to look at, does it make sense to continue in that way when you've already put yourself in a state that you can't return from that one? So now we look for the second one. But in order for us to live in the second one, we got to get this right now, even though we're at the point of death. And it still works out for our good because we just went over that everything that lives has to die in order to really give life. Hello? Take a seed out of an apple, take a seed out of an orange, take a seed out of a grape, and don't let it die and see can it give you life. See can it produce any more. The only way it can do it, it gotta die. So when he set Yahushua down, it was so important that he mimicked the tree. That he mimicked the ability of the tree, the ox, so we understood what he was giving us. This opportunity to become as Elohim. Because the book declared, now are you the benim of Elohim. And it doth not appear what we should be, but we know when he shall appear, we shall be. For we shall see him. And every man that have this, you're calling him, what? Purify himself. Even because he purified himself. That's why he immersed himself. He came to Euchanon's immersion because he wanted to purify himself. He would teach, he had a message of purification. It only made sense that if that was your call, that he purified himself. That's why he said, I have need for you to immerse me. I need to be immersed because I came for purification. See, our Torah has taught purification. From the Kohan, he knew when he came, he had to wash his flesh with water and take his clothes out that he could put on the others. Then he was able to go inside of the bed. And when he came out, he had to take those out and he had to put back on his regular clothes. You ain't gonna believe it. That's what Yahushua did. When he came from Shamayim, he had to take those clothes off and put on the other clothes. The clothes that he'd be just like everybody else. That was it. Signified he had completed the service. That's what they did. Even when they took him, they had to wash him up. Before they took him and put him in there, they had to wash him, put him up. All these things were neat, but we would have never known this had it not been for the scriptures, for the writings. The writings gave us that, so we understood the actions that he was demonstrating. Versus he came, he died, he was born, he rose, and he had no understanding. They had no understanding. So the people that knew the Torah understood. Okay? So that's what we're looking at, repentance. The reason why he would have told them all this, repentance, the remorsefulness, and the forgiveness of Kata'im, plural, to listen to all whom? Now we're looking at something that we're going to spread first. Now we know he's talking about more than just us. Listen what he told you at. What did he tell them?
Having begun from Jerusalem.
Having begun, it had to start at Jerusalem. It had to start there first. It had to start with us first. It had to start with us first. See, all these were things we had to be mindful. See, the people that had been reading and had their confidence in the first writing, a second writing has come in. So where is going to put us at? He let you know the second didn't come to void out the first. That's why he told you, don't think I came to destroy the Nabim. Because if people, so it made no sense for me to study this. Because now he done came in with something totally new and abolished all of this. He said, I never done that. I only gave you the first so you understood what I did the second. That's why I gave it to you, so you understand I do it the second. Hello? This is what we're coming to our understanding of doing, the importance of the reading, the importance of the writing, the importance of comprehension, the importance of our obedience. Because the people that he came to, and the reason why it's so hard pressed for Christians, because this is not a life they live. This ain't even a mindset they consider. Why would he tell them that? The only reason for me that you would tell people that you just went through, hey, I'm going to be crucified, the third day I'm going to get up, and then I'm going to get repentance and remission, it will only tell me this was something they had to be looking for. What you saying to do that? I ain't looking for that. I know somebody to come out who's looking to come out and pass our EBT card. I'll be honest with you, I'm not looking for it. So you wouldn't benefit me with it. Because that was never something I had your call or hope in. That was never something I was desiring that I was seeking. The people who we were talking to were people of his own who would know this is what we've been waiting on. We've been stuck. We've been waiting on to be able to get to a point where this stuff can be removed. It can all just be over with. All of us had stuff, and like you say, you know what? I can't wait to just get this over. That's what we're waiting on. That's what they saw with him. Y'all got it? All right, let's look at this 9th chapter I told you to get right quick. Your call's a call. They call Ezekiel. Your call's a call, 9th chapter. Let's see how I read from here anyway. All right, listen.
And he called her out in my shama with a coal, loud, saying, let draw near those who have charge over the city, and each with a weapon deadly in his hand. And suddenly 6 Anashim came from the direction of gate, the upper, which faces north, and each weapon.
What y'all learned about north? What that, South phone? South phone. What y'all remember learning about the north? Hand. Got one hand. Did I get one for you already? You answered one earlier. What we got down? Huh? Yeah. Yehuda. You agree with that? Huh? Come out. Let me get a check. What y'all remember me teaching y'all about the north? What you gonna say? Something about a tree fell? He fell? You got the hand up? What you got?
Dark, secret, and hidden.
That's right, dark, secret, and hidden. That's why it was important for y'all to know about it. Y'all were taught this. He told y'all about, when he told me in the 8th chapter to go through, he told me to dig through the wall that was toward the north. It was secret. He wanted him to go in and see the secret thing. They had secret things that they were portraying they were doing. He wanted them to go in and do it. Listen what he wanted to do now. He wanted them to take he wanted every man that had the charge to take his weapon, each. Okay. Of the gate, the upper, which faces the north, each and the weapon. He want each one of those men and their weapons to go. And what do he want them to do?
With his battle axe in his hand.
And do what?
And each one among them linen was clothed with, an inkhorn had a rider at his side. And they went in and stood beside altar, the bronze and the kabod of the Elohim of Yasharal had gone up from the cherub where it had been.
Uh-oh, let's see what happened. That's something, just reading that. Similarity. He had a writing horn that went, and look what happened. And what went up from the cherubim?
And the kabod of the Elohim of Yasharal had gone up from the cherub.
And guess what people would have noticed too? The people that would have noticed when Yahushua was up on the tube. That the kabod of Elohim had gone up from between the cherubims. When he sat upon it, when he was between the two thieves, they mimicked the cherubims. The cherubim had wings. So the thieves, when they put their arms up, to prove it, when you play basketball, Jessica, can you tell them what that thing they measure when you put your arms out? Wow. So you can see where they looked at when they put him over. He said, they're one. So when they stood over him and their arms were up, that's what they were doing. They were similar to it. That's amazing, though. You think about what basketball is. Did they actually measure and call it your wingspan? Look at the portion that comes up from it. Ain't it amazing? They measure your wingspan. Well, those guys, when they was, let me show you again. This is what the problem they got. The one, let's do what they did. Come on, no, turn the other way. Turn the other way. Hand out. We on the cross. Put your. So we at least got to be that much distant. And these two guys talking to each other. It would make sense if y'all came in and y'all put your hands up, come over close to me, because he would have been lower than them. So his hands have been up because they would have carried him. Hello? Okay, I'm trying to tell you, I already know how I had to work. It don't make sense. Stuff they showed you don't make sense. Them 3 ice cream sticks don't make sense. Because he was dwelling between the cherubims. They were turned facing him. That's how they were able to have a conversation. Ain't got time to be hollering past no man, around no man from over him. Only why? Because they were facing each other. They were mimicking the cherubim the same way they had the ark. They were set between the cherubim they put them down, which means they were facing and their wings were covering over. He even told you, and with his wings, he was going to cover him. He that dwelled in the secret place of the Most High, owned by, well, the shadow. That's what they were using for the shadow. That's how you looking at how the sun, how was the Shema not going to smite him by day? He told, and under his wings, he was going to cover him. Christianity makes a fool out of you. It really hurts you bad. It really is damaging because they don't really care about trying to show people the truth. They were so busy trying to run and show 3 ice cream sticks shooting down a straight road, which made no sense. It only made sense that they covered him. They sat over him. And they told you that the kabod of Elohim went up from between the cherubim. So when Yahushua moved, where do you think his ruach went? It went up from among them. See, a lot of things he was trying to tell you, but see, if you're not taught and it's not your writing, nor do you understand it, historically how things were done by them, why would you pay attention to that? It makes more sense, again. It just makes sense. That just makes sense. How many of y'all, this is how you saw the quote unquote Jesus and the 2 thieves, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It made sense that they were facing toward him because they were covering him. The same way when they had the ark of the Taba, because you had the cherubim that covered over it, which means they would have been covering over him. They were keeping him. How was the sun not going to smite? He said they weren't going to smite him by day. It's good. That's fine. Because they don't want to know. When you don't want to know, you don't want to know. See, your God work in mysterious ways. That's why I want nothing to do with your God. Your God is dumbing you down and have you believe something makes no sense, and these retarded people are still running behind something makes no sense. It's all predicated on what was done. This ain't me. This is what I come up with. That makes no sense. He ain't left nothing for us to come up with. Follow pattern. Follow patterns. Okay, come on. So they got, this is what happened. Hold on for a minute. Wait a minute. The threshold of, okay. Okay, come on.
And the kabod of the Elohim of Yasharal had gone up from the cherub where it had been, whereupon to the threshold of the Mashkan. And he cowered to the Ish, clothed with linen, who had inkhorn of the writer at his side, and said, Yahuwah, to go through the midst of the city through the midst of Jerusalem, and put a mark on the foreheads of the Anashim who sigh and Synagogue over all the abominations that are done within it.
Oh, what you got? What would be the purpose when you start to look at this? Now this is what he just told he gonna do. He want the man who had the inkhorn, the pen, to take the pen, and he want him to go through, and he want him to write on the foreheads of those men that sigh, those men that cried out. Now this would no doubt be literal. Y'all have it? Literal. Okay? Now let's look at something. See if that's the 5th chapter of the book of Abarim. That's tight. You read they told their wife, so why they bury sheep? Abarim, the 5th chapter. Well, it's smooth. I had that arm up there with it. They call it Hebrew, or they might call Abarim. Slide, let me see that one. Might be 8. What I want? No. 8. I think it's 8 is what I want. 8. Drop down about 5. 4. What's that? Drop down a little more. 3. I'll take that 7. Well, we'll go to 5. We'll see 5. Let's see. All right, let's listen.
Who a copy and shadow serve of the Shamayim, as was.
Y'all hear what he said? Well, we started to play. We told you how to copy and the shadow. We talk about a shadow is a reflection off of an image. And we talk about a copy is something that you're taking from an original, correct? So now he's starting to let them realize that everything was set up. Basically what we did here was a copy. And it was a shadow in a sense. Y'all got it? A lot of people we look at, they were shadows because they weren't the actual image. You got what I'm saying? Or they weren't the actual, a certain thing you had, it was a copy. Just like when we set up things down here, when we built Jerusalem and he gave us the dynamics of how Jerusalem be set up, that was a copy. But they played for a reason. Let's see what happened.
Was Kodash Lamed Musha being about to
wait a minute. We're here. We're right here?
Yes, sir.
All right, start again.
Was Kodash Lamed Musha being about to complete the Mashikan, see that, for he says, you shall make all things according to the pattern.
Let's see that for a second. Make sure you copy it like the original. That's what he just told Musha. Copy it like the original. He's just told you something, now he's giving you an example. Hello? Musha was not doing the original, he was doing a copy.
That's right. That's right.
He just told him to do all things after the pattern I showed you.
That's right.
Which means you are copying.
That's right.
Y'all got that? It's important. See, he come right back to show you this. That's what I appreciate the fact. Years ago, we just read this stuff. You just keep running. I just told you everything was either shadow or copy. When Musha was up in the mount, when he was writing, guess what he was doing?
Okay.
Copying. Everything he showed you, when he came out and showed you the mashkan should be like this, and this should be the length of it and the breadth of it. You said, man, he just came over that. No, he copied. He showed him how to copy. That's all he was doing was copying. That's why Yahusha told you, had you believed the copy, you would have believed me. He got it from me. I'm the original. Okay. But see, you don't have no reason to think like that, because why would you think like that? We've dealt with Christianity so long, even from the James Version, it damages you. You don't think. It really don't. James Version is this, let me take your hand and just spin you around, like somebody just twirling you around, just leading you around, versus these people had to understand it. They knew the difference between a shadow and a copy. This was a copy. Okay? All right, let's see.
Having been shown you in the Har, now, however, more excellent, he has obtained a Sharath, as much as also of a better. He is Berith, the mediator, which upon better Berith has been enacted.
Okay. Stirred upon better promises. Listen what happened.
If for the first that had been faultless, not for the second would have been sought a place.
So now let's show you how that work out. For the first, give me an example. Hands. Okay, yeah. This is the right answer? No? You can use that one. How you feel? You were nervous? I'm gonna get a check though. That's what I was looking for though. So you shouldn't be that boastful. Who else we got? What we can use that even better illustrated than Adam. We talk about Adam. Adam can be used too. You only putting the check on because you like you got too high and mighty. Oh, Tim right now, green eye. Think about what the question was. He said the first copy had been faultless, then it would have been no need for the second one. What you got? A cold in your suit. I'm gonna get a check. Come on, what you got, Dwight? What happened? What happened? Yeah. You say broke the first one. Okay. That is it. That's it. That's why, because he found a fault with them. See, it wasn't the tourists. People think, see, when Mushak came down, he took it and he broke it against the heart. When he first made them, when he copied them, he took them and he broke against the heart because the people had transgressed. But then later he came back in the 10th chapter of the book of Allah Dabarini Kadurin. He told her to take him and cut him out 2 more tablets. He said, bring them up. He said, I'm going to write the words on them that I had on the first one. So it couldn't have been the Torah was the problem. I found a fault with them. So this is what he tried to tell you. Adam is a good answer. And do I need that check for that foot in that chair too? So now, 2 of them. Yeah, I've been wiping that foot. I heard that he said he was pissed. He said he was pissed. That was him. We get angry. So now what you're looking at, what all these things we talked before was an example so we understood. So when people come along and say, see, even the Bible said, see, God found fault with them, and that's why he got rid of the first covenant. He never did it. He found a fault with them. He had Mushal broke them because they broke him. But he came right back and told him, I want you to print, I'm going to print the same thing I put on the first one, signifying I've never gotten rid of it. But Christianity told us the law was done away with. You see what I'm saying? But with no understanding, you would think the same thing. Listen, when it don't matter what religion. I don't want to just put on Christianity. Religion teaches you to look at things a certain way. And that fact, you can take that King James Version. If you're a Methodist, you do not see that book the same way a holiness person sees it. A Jehovah's Witness don't. That's the problem with religion. Forms your mind a certain way till you can only see it this way. And the problem is you're not dealing with his writings. You're dealing with people who say, okay, you know what? I don't like being with y'all. I'm finna just write out my own. And I'm gonna designate this is how we gonna do things. This is how we got all these different versions. See, when all these people look at James version and using these versions, these versions are not accurate because this is your problem because they're so dumb they can't copy. Okay? None of these people can. They are formulating from Tisdale's version. The problem you have with these people, Tisdale never used these words you use. Tisdale used congregation. Church is not congregation. They're going to come, well, that's to say you're a liar because you're not even a good copier. If I'm copying, I'm saying the same thing you're saying. Especially we speaking, always speaking, why am I writing church when the word is congregation? Because referring to the people. Church is referring to a building. It's referring to a certain ethic of acting, which is contrary. That's why you got the pictures. That's why you got the figurine, because that is a church. Those are attributes of a church. He told you when I came, you saw nothing. You only heard a voice. Lest you, what church taught us? You ain't got a church. Listen, why does a church, where your cross at? Where the pictures? Yeah, where the praying hands? Because that's a church. It's not where he established. And Tisdale wrote and copied from writings that were more original. And guess what he saw? There is no church. I can't copy something and it's not there. He's translated and he can't come up with church. These people today came up with church, and it's the same thing as synagogue. It's retarded. It's retarded. Not even the same acts. We don't even go the same day. Everybody knows church is Sunday. Everybody knows that. That's what this church people keep Sabbath. We keep Shabbat. We reading Torah. That's why you had to come back. You got to come back through it.
Yes,
so look
sir.
what he did. Finding fault.
With them, he says, behold, the Yamim are coming, says Yahuwah.
What you gonna do?
And I will ratify with the Beth of Yasharal and with the Beth of Yehuda a Berith new.
Let's look up ratify. Sign or give formal consent to a treaty, contract, or agreement making it officially valid. Chris. Christopher. Oh, my power's weighing down on me. So this is someone, look at, they use ratify. We know they changed up the English word, but really for us to understand what he's doing, I'm trying to sign or give formal consent to a treaty, contract, or agreement making it officially valid. And that's what we're looking for him to do. That's what he was looking at. I had to come on and make it officially valid, okay? Because there's still some people that were holding to the old letter of the law. Y'all got it? There are people that still hold to it. He said, I'm coming in, I'm going to establish this contract, and I'm going to do a ratify. I'm going to make it valid, where people are going to look at this is my consent to what I'll agree to doing, okay? Let's see what happens.
Not according to the berith that I made with both of them in the yum of having taken hold of by me the hand of them to lead them out of the Arats of Mizraim, because they did continue in the berith of me, and I disregarded them, says Yahuwah.
That's why I wanted it broke. I mean, it don't make sense. If they my people, I give them my debar. I give them my word. I give them my law. Since they broke it, I just took it away from them. I don't even regard them. I have no respect for you guys. That's what he looked at. I have no respect for you guys. So I'm going to come in and give you something ratified. I'm going to come in and give you what I'll consent to and what I'll agree with. Listen.
For this, the berith that I will make with the Beth of Yasharal after the Yamim, those says Yahuwah.
What, doing what?
Putting Torah of me into the lob of them, and upon their lob of them I will inscribe them, and I will be to them for Elohim, and they will be to me for an arm.
You see that? Now he come back and look at not writing them on tables of stone. He going to write them in your mind and in your heart. See, those people we going looking at your call, they call Ezekiel, he want him to write them on their foreheads. See the whole implication we're going to get to? I'm going to put them in your mind. I'm going to write them upon your law. They weren't understood that. That's why on the day of Ukar Shabur, now when they heard this, that's right. He started to subscribe to get to the heart of man. He realized, listen, words written on pages of animal skin, or papyrus, which is a plant drawn out, all the different things, it don't keep a man from doing. He said, I got to get on the man's inward parts. It's got to be on the man's inward parts. Y'all got it? That's what he looked at with Yahushua. I just took it and I wrapped it up and I put it on his inward parts. And that's what he looked at with us. It's got to get on the inside of us. The words on the page don't stop you from doing nothing. You can have convictions. Our conviction still did stuff wrong. That don't stop nothing, not until it get in your heart. Not until it's in your mind. Y'all got it. And that's what he realized. So when you go back, we'll go back to your cause of call. And hold on for a minute, stop for a second. Let me show, hold on, let's see what else he gonna do. What else he gonna do? Have we finished that?
And no, not shall they lamed each the re'ah of him, and each the ak of him, saying, Know Yahuwah, because all will know me from the least to the greatest of them.
And tell them what happened.
Because Rakam I will be toward the iniquities of them, and the Kataim of them know not. I shall recall Zakar more.
See that? I won't remember their sins anymore. Once I get this on their inward parts, once I get this in their mind, he said, forget about it. Forget about it. That's what I'm going to ratify it. I'm going to set up, guess what? I'm going to get rid of it. But all this is constituted because he already told about if a man turned from his iniquity, a man stopped doing wrong, he said, I forget about it. But I got to get it inside his mind. I got to get it in his heart. So all these things that we look at, what these guys were doing, they weren't original. They were set up for us so we have an understanding. I got to put it, if it's on your forehead, whenever you see it and it reflects, then you remember it. Right? Anytime you look at a water reflection of a mirror, the glass, guess what? You'll see it because it's right there. He said, better than that, what if you don't get a chance to see a mirror? What if you don't get to see the reflection? So now I got to go further than that. I got to get it in your inward parts. Where you won't forget it. I got to put it in your heart. Where to keep you, where you know what? You won't have the desire. When you got the writings in your heart, you don't have the desire them. Okay? Let's go back and look at what we read in your cause of call. Did that help y'all kind of understand a little better? See, that's the goal. Let me tell you something. I know people struggle with how I'm going to do it. I hear it, but how is it that easy? It's not. That's why we have to sit down and dissect it for us so we get an understanding on what it is we have to do. Because until you can see it a certain type of way, you won't actually grasp it. And that's part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to see it in a way that he designed it for us to see it so we'll grasp the concept. And now we don't have to worry about going back and committing it anymore. I believe you can live free from Kataim. You just got to know what it is. See, the thing we didn't know. We didn't think, you think I'm looking at the book like, at least I ain't touching it. He said something in your law that draw you, attract you to it. I want you to lust after other Elohims. I want you to lust after all these things. Then you start learning how to do certain things. A different thing I want you to keep you from. Y'all got it? Let's see. What we left out? This is the 9th chapter book of your cause of call. What verse we're at?
We have verse 5.
Still at verse 5. Go ahead.
And to these he said, in my Shama, go through the city after him and kill, not do let spare your own, nor have any pity.
Y'all what he told him to do? When they go through that, don't let your eye. He told him let your eye pity, because what would the eye do? Take knowledge. I can see, oh man, looking at him, he don't look like he want to die. He said, don't do it. Don't let your eye fool you. I want you to go with that. Because think of sometimes you'll see stuff. How that work for us? Give me a hand. Who we gonna use? Hold on, I got a bishop. Bishop, what we got? Right answer, check. Let's hear it. He's exactly right. Malak Shaul. What you gonna say? Abraham. Oh, talking about the lad. Not the pity of the lad. But he'd have looked at, we were looking at the eye appearance. Well, I would have used what he said with Shaul. For how many don't know what we're talking about? Shaul, when Shaul was sent in, he was the first Malak of Yasharal. He told him to go in, slay young and old, and slay every beast. And he said, and they kept the best of them. Because his eye, the knowledge he had, he looked at, that don't make sense to kill that one. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna kill no baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna say that. That one, that's too good to destroy the town. So he did what we do with the eye. Y'all see what I'm saying? So he sent them in, and them people already knowing Shaul done passed. Don't pull Shaul. Don't let your eye make a fool out of you, what you see. Now you understand a statement that was made how we walk. What you have for them, right? See why? Because see, why he would tell them that they eye. You see why it makes sense? Because they eye, just like Shaul eye, will mess them up. I know what he said, but I'm thinking. To me, I can't see this could be used. See why he wanted to tell you? Now you heard that with how we walk. Because these guys told, don't use your sight. Because you're going to make the wrong judgment call. I don't want you to spam, and don't let your eye pity them, okay? Don't start looking to my, I can't bring myself to it. So you're not walking by Amanah like I told you. Okay? Come on, that makes sense? Okay, come on.
Zakan and young unashamed and maidens and little Benin.
The old men, look at old men, the women, who else?
and maidens and little
Virgins.
Benin and Nashim
And
slay
women. Slay.
utterly.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine that? You talking about babies? Man, I ain't with that, man. Somebody else got to do that. He said, don't worry about it. I got somewhere for you. Because your eye, he's trying to show, listen, this is what got, listen, this is what messed up. He's trying to construct an arm that will move by his call, by his sound. One that actually among his word. And when we start to look at trying to justify and rationalize, it's a problem. It's a problem. And these are things we want to consider. Now, he done told these guys what to do. Listen to what he want them to do.
Slay utterly, but anyone each on whom upon the mark not do come near.
Y'all hear that? Now, the ones that have the mark on their forehead, don't go near them. Now, this is something to consider. Do anybody remember why he didn't want to slay those people? Hand. Oh, I got it back down. Tim? Who one of them? So the people that it didn't bother them, they were okay with it. What do he want to do with them? Now we'll see something else that played it, that makes come into play. How about that? See that Romans the first chapter? See about verse 25. Let me see. That's what I want. Romans chapter 1, about 25. I gotta go down further, and then we'll see. All right. What we got? Go ahead.
Who changed the Amat of Elohim into the falsehood and reverenced and served the created thing beyond the one having created it.
Hold what you got. How many of y'all understand that? Don't understand it. That he worshiped. I appreciate you. God, that's what we want to do. If you don't understand, let's make sure you understand. So we're talking about where we start him. And we go this way. Woo, woo, woo. Woo. Who changed the truth of Elohim into falsehood and reverence and served the created thing beyond the one having created it, bracket. How many of y'all don't understand that? Premise was set up for that. When Yahuwah told you when he appeared to you, what did he say he did? Huh? You saw no image. Only you heard a voice. Unless you did what? And did what? Like what? Like things in the Shamaim or things, even man or beast. You see how a lot of that come into play. Why he told you that? And in fact, he told you to worship and serve the creature more. You trying to figure why. He's trying to tell you they're going to worship and serve the created thing more than the one that created it. That's why he said that's why I didn't show it to you. See, people that were taught the Torah, this makes sense. This don't mean they said worship and serve the creature more than the creator because they didn't pay attention. He was trying to get them to look at, this is why I told. Think when he told them, folks, when I spoke to you, I never showed you anything. You only heard a voice. Lest you corrupted yourself. And guess what they did? They corrupted themselves. I told you what you were going to do. Whether it was man or beast, whether it was a fowl in the air, whether it was anything, he said you were going to go and you were going to start the shakatis. You're going to start the door and the deck. Look how sisters dress themselves in homosexual. Don't they always decorate? You say, why you got that junk on? They're doing what you tell them to do in my name. Think about it, they would say, you don't see really plain clothes sisters. They always do something flamboyant. They're decorating it. He said, I don't want you to decorate the flesh. I want you to decorate my shem. Y'all got it? Okay. So you can kind of see how things wind up coming to play. Come on, finish up.
Who is Barak to the ages.
Who bestowed a gift for ages, forever.
Aman.
Come on, Aman.
Because of this gave up them, Elohim, to passions of dishonor, even for females of them change the natural use into the contrary to nature.
See that? It's real good nature. A man and man booty hole can't create nothing. They can't do nothing.
No, sir.
Two bad-mouthed women, they ain't gonna do nothing.
Nothing.
No Bojana. They can't do nothing. They can't hurt each other. They can't do nothing. They don't have nothing to do with nature. He said go against nature.
That's right.
He let them know he don't win against nature. Listen.
Likewise, then also the males, having left the natural use of the female,
Listen.
were inflamed in the desire of them toward one another.
Man, burning.
Males with males.
15 butt-naked women get to a full-dressed man. So I'm hot. Come on.
Males with males, the shame working out, and the recompense which was fitting of the error of them in themselves receiving.
Listen.
And as not they did see fit, Elohim to have in their knowledge gave up them, Elohim to a depraved mind to do things not being proper, being filled with all Rosha covetousness, malice.
They being filled with all Rosha, all evil, all wickedness. Listen.
Malice, full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, maliciousness, gossips, slanderers, hateful of Elohim,
listen,
insolent, arrogant, boastful, inventors of Rosha things to parents disobedient, foolish, untrustworthy, heartless, unmerciful, who the Sadiq decree of Elohim have known that those such things doing,
listen,
worthy of moot, are not only them are practicing, but also are approving of those practicing them.
See, he want him to put a mark on the forehead of everybody that side. Everybody had a problem with it. Because the people, you know what, I'm being honest with y'all, man, that stuff don't bother me. See, when they read this, they have no idea where it's predicated from. So those people cry because they were looking at the title. Y'all gonna get us killed. Yes, sir. I ain't going on with that food. I don't agree with that stuff. But it's okay with you. He said, now them folks gonna kill. He said, I'm gonna kill the people that got pleasure on them. Why you think he told them to go through and mark the one that side? That's right. It bothered them. See, folk don't realize, even the book told you about Luke. They said that thing grieved him every day. That's right. It grieved him. It said it grieved his Sadak soul behind that stuff. See, they don't know that. They thinking, well, Luke your mama didn't have a problem with it. That book said it grieved him every day. That's right. These folk grieve me. Yes. Y'all be okay with me, it's okay. Let them do what they want to do. I'm all right with it. Watch them on that. I was watching a series on, I tell y'all why. It was a good little series going on. And when we got in that bed, I cut out, so I'm done with it. That bothered me. I didn't know that. I don't watch that stuff. I don't have no pleasure in that stuff. Well, just get on, skip up, just leave it alone. It had nothing to do with the movie. Some stuff, they ain't trying to call themselves a god or computer. This had nothing to do with them unless you're trying to set these people up to do something. Some stuff I just don't want, because I know you got another agenda. If too many people you start to take on, you get indulged. When you turn on television, you watch stuff, you open yourself up for stuff too. You really open your mind up to stuff. You'd be surprised what you hear, how much you take on. You can hear stuff in your sleep and dream it. You be watching someone tell you mess around and dreaming. That's how dangerous it is for everything to go in your ear. You can't take everything in your ear. Some stuff you can't get yourself in. You say, no, I don't be bothered with that stuff. I can't be bothered with that. I don't have no time. Had nothing to do with the movie. What was the name of that? Oh, it was Secret and Lies or something. What did that have to do? What did them two big homies have to do with the movie? What did it have to do with the movie? It had nothing to do with the series. See, this is what they do. They get you comfortable. Then, you know, let's just throw this in here right quick. Because I'm attracted. So somebody said, well, I'm too far in the series right now. I just keep moving. You keep going. And they just keep introducing you little by little with little things. And before you know it, homosexuality, the new normal. They just keep giving you stuff. Before you know it, you just getting this stuff. Before you know it, you out here. Now, mother dates her son. Those people need to be gunned down. That's right. A mother is waiting. Oh, jeez, I hope I pick my son. Y'all need to be killed. Who watches this foolishness? Watch this even on TV. They're the most disgusting thing in the world. But guess what? Who will get it to you? NBC, ABC, MSNBC, Fox. I don't get to it because everybody plays your mind. Everybody want to induce you in. You know what I'm saying? It's just TV. That's how they get you. You know what Daoud said? He said, I set no wicked thing before my own. Because you taking knowledge of it, the appearance of it. He told you the stain, you ain't going to believe it, from the appearance of Roshan. That's right. He told, why a stain from it? He said a stain from the appearance of it. Because people going to take knowledge of you with it. A lot of stuff we can't fool with. It's just such thing. I said, man, get that stuff back over. Like I said, man, get that stuff back over the same for the destruction of the basar. Yeah. So the nefesh be saved in the last yom. Yes, sir. See that man told you? But also are approving of those.
Practicing them.
So let's go back. Let's see what they're talking about. See, you don't need, your car's car, you can rip this out. Because once you're a New Testament creature, this stuff ain't important. Who do that now? Everything you go back, you read, you can see how it coming to pass right now. Y'all don't think that's just real art that two chemical trains that flipped over in total different places, the real, and pouring out chemicals. No. Freak accident. All the animals and the fish dying. Y'all don't know in Kazum, he told each one of them Malaki to pour out he told them to pour out their vials. Yes, and one poured his out on the trees. Yes, and another one poured his out on the water. And he told you, he said a third part of it wound up dying. Okay. Those train flipped over. Yahuwah just told them to pour out the vials. He told everyone, he said, pour out your vial. And a third part of all this stuff gonna start dying. Men, why y'all think all these people dying? They pouring their vials out because they don't need you to watch that. Because you're what? You're not going to want to go to their games. You're not going to be worried about that. You're going to be concerned about you dying. You're going to be worried about the world in it. You're going to be like, you need to get right. You're going to start trying to make preservation and reservation. So I don't need you reading that. This Sunday you go down, and the mass choir going to blow a new one. God's still in charge. That's going to be the song. God's still in charge. So shake your booty down. That's it. Loose the sisters. Everybody I'm telling you, if people were cognizant and knew what was going on, listen, what you're trying to do would change. You'll look at things differently. You see the world ending. Okay. Let's see. Come on. What verse we left off at? 6? Come on, so I'll try to get them finished up. Verse 6. Your cars are called 9 and 6. Chapter 9, verse 6. All right. That's 5.
We hadn't finished. We were on the mark, not do come near. I think that was above that.
5, 6. I'll go up a little bit more.
Right there. Yes, sir.
Oh.
And then my mock dash.
We'll go up a little bit more before that. A little bit before that. What do you want to do? We'll start out. And the little children.
And little Benim and Nashim slay utterly, but anyone each on whom upon the mark not do come near. And at my Makdash begin, so they began with the Zakanim, who before the Mashakan, and he said, to them defile the Mashakan
And do what?
and fill the courts with the slain. Go out, and they went out and killed in the city. So it was that while they were killing them, and was left, I fell on my pani and saw out, and said, Yahuwah Elohim will destroy you, all the remnant of Yasharal, in pouring out your fury on Jerusalem. And he said to me, the iniquity of the Beth of Yasharal and Yehuda is great, is very exceedingly, and is full of their rights, bloodshed, and the city full of perversity. For they say, has forsaken Yahuwah the Arats, and not Yahuwah does see.
What happened? Okay, and Yahuwah does see.
And also, as for me, neither will spare my own, nor will I have pity their deeds on their own head.
That's fine. Now, no doubt, this had to be something that could be tangible, physical, that they could see it. What do you think about a man you see just take a sword, an axe, and chop a baby up? What would y'all think? Good person? A man going to take a woman and just chop her up. What does he regard? What does he care about women? What does he care about little babies? You take teenagers, middle school, elementary, and just chop them up. What you think about them? How do you think he regard them? How you look at them? Men. What about old people? Old women, old men, and chop them up. What do you think he regard them? Yahuwah had him to do that, so the people that are being slain, the people watching it, what you think they had to think about those 6 men? These guys are crazy. These guys are just killing people. They're killing babies. They're killing women. They're killing Bethula, virgins. They're just killing people. And they're not regarding any of these people. And Yahuwah let them know why. Because I'm not going to regard them. So you understand that? That the invisible things of Elohim were clearly being seen. I'm not going to regard you and your children. I'm not going to regard you old women and you old men. I'm not going to regard the teenagers or the young people. He said, I'm going to slay them all because the iniquity of these people are so great in Yasharal and Yehuda. Now, this set a precedence up for us, actually. And you guys know it. Can you figure it out? Oh, Canada, tell me. Come back to the answer. He said, gonna let me answer. I'm gonna get that check, though. True Yehuda, nigga. And I'm trying to get you the 40 checks, nigga. But nah, he good. So let's look at this. Let's look at Kaf, Aleph Kaf, 4th chapter. We'll do 1, verse 1. Say that word. That's your first check today, ain't it? And that's your first one. All right, let's say this is Aleph. First, they'll call it 1 Peter, Kaf, 4 and 1. Listen, we'll try to run through and listen.
Mashiach, therefore, having suffered in Basar, also you, the same mind, arm yourself with, because the one having suffered in the Basar is done with kata.
See that? Now they talking about how he suffered. And his suffering, sometimes suffer means allow. So we look at the hand, kaf, the open. That's what it means to allow. If I want to give you something, you say, okay, then you allow me to do that. So allow. So here we're talking about him suffering, allowing, or we're talking about him suffering, resisting. Because he's talking about stop doing it. And this is what he look at the purpose of him coming. See, him suffering in the flesh has actually brought an end to kataim. Because now it's giving us the knowledge. And what we lack was the knowledge. We lack the knowledge of not being able to commit kata. Because think about it. If this sin, ain't no spirit, nothing from Malak going to shoot down here and tackle me and put me on the ground, keep me from touching it. It's the knowledge. It's the pure knowledge of Elohim to know not to touch, not to handle, not to consume. It's the knowledge. No spirit. No, he not going, oh, I thank my God for the angel wrapping with me and keeping me from drinking. No, it's not. That can of open and that bottle open just as easy for you as it did when you was a son. It's the knowledge. See what I'm saying? They want to put it on something. He don't have no time, have nobody run around trying to tackle you to keep. Man, they be tired to death. Right, trying to tackle you and hold you down. You nigga, you're overcoming with your sinful spirit. Every time be wrestling you all up. That's just being honest. Because the will to sin is so great. They be stressed out. Man, they be so tired. All little white robe, linen clothes, tore up and nasty in the mud full of other niggas. Because your will's so just, you know what I'm saying? We so set, hard pressed. So you had to put some on our inward parts. You had to make sure we had a knowledge of that will constrain and constrict us, that you will have a desire to live. What you think people doing? You see me with an axe, I'm finna chop you up. What you thinking? Oh, I'm ready to die, nigga. Kill me. You thinking, I don't want to die. You thinking whatever you can do to get out of this. That's what so the people that was sitting there who did, what you think they looking at? You think they would get, they had a will say, soon as this over, I'm finna get crunk, I'm finna get back in them streets. Them folks looking, they thinking Elohim. They'll show her, and there's more confirmation not to go. Because surely he got some more people prepared to come and kill us later if we should turn from our Sadiq. What you think the whole purpose of it for? It was written for our learning. To realize why it's conducive, or why it's a necessity for to keep a lifestyle. Because that man always got somebody he got stored up for. He keep a serial killer. He keep a mad murderer. He keeps somebody that texts and don't look up. I'm talking about 9 times finish this whole paragraph. I'm pissed. And they headlong coming for you. Yahuwah got somebody for you now. That's what, think about the people who didn't. You think, listen, they said, well, they were already good. Guess what? That confirmed to stay good. You think they didn't do like some of us? I was just finna turn. I thought about doing something else. I started saying, listen, man, it ain't my job to keep nobody living right. Really, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna try to judge nobody. I ain't gonna stop being where I'm upset with folks when they doing what they do. They look at that, no, stay upset with them. Don't give in to them. That came to confirm them to let them know, don't turn from what you're doing now. Y'all understand that? Okay. Let's see where they go. Come on. So we talking about then sin and no longer men desire to, which way we go from here? Sin. So as no longer unashamed desires, will. We talk about desire is will, right? So that's what he got us do. He changed the will. But listen at desire, that's will, but to the will of Elohim. That's all we talk about. Remember, we talk about will was desire. That's all they did, just came and changed the will. Hello? That's all they did, change the will. That's what the information did. It came and gave us a different will. Now you turn on to the will of Elohim versus the will of the flesh. If you fornicate, if you drink, if you lie, if you cheat, if you're doing all these things he told not to do, it's because of the will. Man, I don't want to be lying. That's not true. That's the will. That's why you do it. So, but we had to understand it. That simplicity, it really is more simple than what we're thinking. You're only doing it because that's the will. So what are you doing? I'm going to just get rid of your will? No, you just need the will of Elohim. When he talked about, for this is, see that? Even your kudah, that you should abstain from Zanu. And that every one of you should know. How would I know how unless I've been taught? How to possess his body in Kudash and not in the lust of concupiscence, even as the other nation who knew not. So what's the difference between me and them? Knowledge. See, it ain't called they too dumb, they too stupid, they Christian. It's knowledge. They don't have the knowledge. When you have the knowledge changes the behavior. Typically, when people go to prison, go to jail, you know the first thing that's what they try to give them education. You know, they try to tell they need to be educated. When you educate a man, you'll give him something he can do instead of him going and committing crime. They'll even believe that education changes a man's behavior. Why do they don't believe that the education of Nazar Elohim would change a man or woman's behavior? Come on, finish this up.
The remaining in the Basar to Kai time.
So, the remaining time he got, he won't work to try to fulfill the flesh. Come on.
Is sufficient for the past time, the desire.
See, back then it was good. At one time it was good for the flesh. Come on, the stuff we were doing was, but it became a point then it wasn't conducive to what we were trying to do. When we were doing it, was at the time it was good for the time, wasn't it? Come on, it was good for the time. But then when the time changed, we can't do that. Just like in Mizraim, what we done, it was good for the time. But when the time changed, he said, you should no longer do as you did in Mizraim. So for the time, it was sufficient. Y'all got it? Come on.
The desire of the Goyim to have carried out, having halak in sensuality, lust, drunkenness, orgies.
Oh, good. Hold on. Man, they had them back then.
Craziness.
I said orgies. I ain't heard that in so long. Come on.
Carousing and abominable idolatries.
Come on.
With respect to this, they think it strange,
Whoa. Then what happened?
not running with them of you into the same of debauchery overflow, speaking Rosha of you, who will
That's
give.
the same thing they did with Yahushua.
That's right.
They thought it was strange. He wasn't doing what he was doing. So why walk not your Talmudim as the rest of us do? They thought it was strange he didn't run to the same excess of ride. And get what they wound up doing? They were speaking Rosha of him, speaking evil of him. Like they do with you. Come on.
Who will give account to him who ready is to shafit the Kai and the Moot.
See that? He gonna judge the living and the dead. So he said, listen, they're gonna give an account. That's what we're considering. They had to give an account. Listen.
To this end, indeed, even to the Moot, the tube news was proclaimed so that they might be shafit indeed according to Anashim. In the Basar, they might Kai, however, according to Elohim in the Ruach.
Come on.
Of all, now the end has drawn near.
Y'all hear what happened? The end done drawn near. This gonna throw us. Listen.
Be clear-minded, therefore, and sober, for the purpose of Palal, above all things. Among yourselves, Ahab fervent, having, because Ahab covers over a multitude of Kataim.
And we understood that by Yahushua. He told us that was the purpose of saying how Elohim so Ahab belong. Otherwise, we would have never understood this. How would it cover it? He told you Ahab covered a multitude of it. All of us being covered because of Ahab. Why he start out telling us Elohim saw Ahab their rights that he gave? Because he needed you to understand what Ahab. I'm telling you to do something. You're gonna do it based off your knowledge of it, or it's proven. See what I'm saying? He proved it that Ahab actually did it. He said, and I want you to have that fervently among one another. We should be fervently Ahab among one another. Come on.
Hospitable to one another without complaint. Each as have received a barak to each other, them serving as tube stewards of the manifold Khan of Elohim.
Okay.
If anyone speaks as Dabarim of Elohim,
Speak the words of Elohim. If you speak the words of Elohim, what happens?
if anyone serves
Do what?
as of strength with supplies, Elohim, so that in all things may be kabul.
See that? Same thing that if any man speak, let him speak. There, the King James Version said as the oracles, which they'll mean divinely inspired. Oracles refer to other stuff they use as the Greek writing. But when you look at that, and the reason why that would be important, because he was a constant upon when people speaking, say only what he said. He told Balaam the same thing. You go with him, but you say what words I put in your mouth. So showing you, I never changed. He never had a time. He said, listen, like these lying folk call themselves apostles. God let me say what I want to say. He said, that's a lie. I don't. I want you to speak what I tell you to say. I only say what I told you to say. Y'all got it? And now he told any man speak. He ought to be speaking what did the boss say. There would be no contradictions. The problem become now, everybody start adding and putting, like they said, putting your own flavor, your own sauce on it. Come on.
Elohim through Yahushua HaMashiach, to whom be the kabul and the power to the ages, just Aman.
Come on.
Yedidai, not be surprised at thee among you, fire for a trial to you taking place, as if a strange thing to you were happening.
That's why y'all act now when stuff come up and happen. You think it's strange when certain things happen against you concerning your fiery trial, but they're working to prove you out. He told you, I chose you to the furnace of affliction. See, people don't realize that just like with gold, to get it to its purest point, you got to be able to heat it to a certain level beyond what your cooking or your stove does, because you're trying to get it to a pure point. So why would I be going through all the things I'm going through? Because it would be considered in my fiery trials to try to get me to perfection. And then I look and I want to faint because I don't understand why. It don't make no sense. I ain't doing nothing. it ain't you doing that. I'm trying to get you to a proven point. Your palal is this. I want to be saved. How many of y'all desire I want to be saved? Palal, I want to be saved. I want to be right. I want to be forgiven everything I do. Well, then I need to purify. But let me ask you a question. Why am I going through so much when I'm trying to be right? I don't know, stupid. I couldn't tell you, dummy. And then why we be telling this? Because being human, is natural for you to question, to doubt, to wonder why. But now he's telling you, don't think it's strange, because I chose you to the furnace of affliction. I'm purifying you. What you asked me I'm doing, and now you saying, can I just stop it? Like, okay, I can't win. Then I want to be saved. Okay, we start back. Why am I going through all this trouble? Can you just stop all these troubles and all this stuff coming against me? It look like every time I look around, something at me, something picking at me, something trying me, something. Talking about trying you like I'm trying to get you to perfection. And I want to be saved without any trying. Gold want to be purified at 24 karat, but they don't want to be tested. That's only get you to perfection. I got to test you. I got to put y'all. We need to know, because we're quick to quit. We're quick to quit. We're quick to complain. We're quick to change what we ask for. Do you want to be saved? Then the book said, let patience have a perfect work. Let him do and have a let him work. Do what you're supposed to do. It's got to be working for you. If you just, that's the thing. See, you don't realize this me. This ain't when I'm saying this include me. Okay, we got to stop thinking. Okay, he know what he's doing, but then I need to kind of help it because he don't know what he's doing now. You ain't said it, but you are saying it. How he don't know? How he don't know I'm hurt? How he don't know? How he don't know my knee hurt? When he the one made the knee. How he don't know none of this stuff? He showed it when I forgot his name, was sitting behind Nathan was sitting behind the tree. He said, I knew that. He said, well, you was sitting behind it. He said, how you know? I already know it. You're not going through that. He don't know. And it'll make you feel like when you're going through, can you just talk to him for me? Because I'm going through. He already know it. And you're going through for a reason, because I need to try you. You asked me to save you. You say I want to be saved. I don't want to die, I want to burn. Okay, well, I got to do the procedure. Before go to hospital, been gunshot. I don't want to die, save my life. I got no surgery. I don't want no surgery now. I can't, don't let me die. Well, I got to move it. I don't want I'm scared of surgery. Anything but that. You're going to die. I don't want to die. Got to do surgery. I don't want surgery, because people die in surgery. He said, I can't win. I can't win with you. You want to be saved, but you don't want to go through nothing. You don't want to be patient. You don't want to let patience have a work. You don't want me to purify you. And you want to be right. He said, how are we going to do this? I'm so confused. How they going to work? You know what? I know he wasn't going to save me. I know he wasn't going to save me. I just go through it. And he's like, are we retarded? Are we retarded? Because one thing, we want salvation without any repercussions or no. I mean, no. It's because of what we go through. For me, it makes you don't want it. It's just some stuff. I'm being with y'all. It ain't happening. I ain't doing it. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. I've been through too much. I don't want to do it. And it's because of everything I've gone through. It's because of the suffering. It's because of not knowing when. It's because of the scrambling of the mind. It just makes you, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be that. I don't want to go through that no more. But had it been any other way, I'll loosely go and just go ahead and do it. Because really, I mean, what's going to happen? Y'all know what I'm saying? It takes your suffering, it takes him taking you through your perseverance to make you look at, I want to go back. You know what? Another end, he told them, when he brought my Mizraim in, y'all remember what he told he didn't want them to do? Who knows? What is it? Okay. Go back. So they walked out, he took them straight to Jerusalem. What he did? Well, you done went a whole long way. Hey, man, come on, let's go back. You like, nigga, you out your mind. Now, Father can't. You see the purpose of it? What all they had to go? So you finna go back across the Red Sea. Because he ain't opening it up. You finna, they thinking, you in that wall, you like, no. Think about it, though. Because physically, there has to be obstacle things to make you consider. All the wars, all the fighting to get to Jerusalem. I ain't trying to go back there. I'm just not trying to go back. But when it's like, it ain't nothing to do that to go back. So he put them through these things so they could physically look at, this is a lot. A lot of people died to get us him. That's why people die in I know last week somebody died, then some months later, these folks dying 24,000, 10,000, 3,000. You thinking, and you make it, you say, man, I can't afford to go back now. I can't go back. And a lot of times you rationalize trying to fight and look at make things easier. Easier is why we committed sin. It wasn't hard for me to commit sin, it was easy. So now you make it hard press on me, it's like, no, you weigh it all, you say, no, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Because knowledge. Because we read now knowledge. Y'all got it? Come on, finish this up.
But as you have shared in the of Mashiach's sufferings, rejoice, so that also in the kazoon of the kabod of him you may rejoice exalting.
See, like now, when you resist, some of them lost relationships. I got people who lost marriages and other stuff. Yeah. This is part of his suffering. See, all his suffering was for us. Now you got to be a partaker, so he still put some responsibility. We don't have that stuff they gave a Christian. You ain't got to do nothing. Jesus did it all. Then why are you suffering? Because you partaker of his suffering. But guess what else happened now when he got up? He got his kabod. He don't suffer no more, does it? He ain't bleeding out, crying, hollering Jesus. Guess what he said? So when this thing come back to reveal, you also gonna share in that part too. If a husband and wife struggling, the wife don't struggle cause the husband struggling. She'll part. So if the husband get money, it's gonna win that. Still suffering, you ain't gonna win. Let's use another example. We'll find something else. But say if that wasn't the case, you'll be part of the benefit of him coming out, just like you part of the suffering while he was in. Well, that's the same thing with Yahushua. We're suffering now because we partakers of his affliction, only so you can also share in his kabod when he returned back. Y'all got it? Okay, let's see what he told us.
If you are insulted in the Shem of Mashiach, you are Barak, because of the kabod and of Elohim Ruach.
See, because they insulted him. They insulted him. So he's saying the same thing. If you insult on him, but then you also looking at what's going to be revealed when he come back. The kazoon. Come on.
Of Elohim Ruach upon you, rest on indeed their part. He is blasphemed on, however, your part. He is kabod, not for any of you let suffer as a murderer or a thief.
So he's talking about when you see, this is something you know, when you suffer because people criticize you for doing his will, he said on that end, that's kabod to him. That's how the Abba was kabod through Yahushua. People think he was a kabod because he fed 5,000 men and women, not including women and children, because he opened the blind eyes, because he did some other thing that people call miracles. But he said he actually got his kabod in the fact that man suffered. The fact that man was able to sit here and take it, and he didn't let it penetrate through him, to where it caused him to fail defeat. And what you looking at, see, the Lord give me my house, he give me my new house, I'm gonna make sure he get all his glory too. He said, you know how many folk got houses? I need to be kabod when you lose your house. I need people looking and saying, what's wrong with that? That joker lost his house. And he's still trying to serve. That's why he got a kabod. Look at Yahushua. He been, all these things happen. He said he got a kabod from his suffering. But how we think is, he get a kabod, I get a new car, or when I drive it, I'm going to drive it in Jesus' name. I'm going to put a tag on the front of in Jesus' name, car. So the Father, think about it. Christians, who think about him getting something from your suffering? But if suffering don't do anything, how did you get the opportunity for salvation? Through suffering. So now you can see how things start to work for you when you have an understanding. But the way we saw things, he only got kabod when we got things, and we're going to write his name on it so people know who gave it to us. We're going to know who gave it. He said, let them see you suffering. Just like, I look at it with Cain. He put a mark on his forehead so everybody knew who he was suffering for. And he put a Torah, a law, that nobody would to kill him either. Because I got him suffering. Nobody was to lay a hand on it. Why didn't folk know about him before that? The second son of Adam, that should have got him some glory, shouldn't it? You the third oldest person on the planet. Bro, I got to give you a part. I got to give you a prop, bro. You older than all of us. He got in caboose. He got caboose. And everybody recognized that Elohim had him suffering. And he put a mark on the man that nobody was to touch him in his suffering. Okay. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
As a murderer or as a thief,
He said, don't suffer like that. Come on.
or Rosha, or as a troublesome meddler.
Yes.
If, however, as a Mashiach, follower of Mashiach, not let him be ashamed.
See that? If you follow the anointed one, he said, don't be ashamed. See, we wind up being ashamed of our suffering. That's what we more ashamed of our suffering versus he look at, when you do this right here, you ought to be ashamed if you was a murderer, if you were doing something Rosha. He said the Mashiach rest upon you when you're doing what he told you. Come on.
Let him kabod, however, Elohim in the Shem, this, for it is the time for to have begun the mashpah.
Y'all hear that? It's the time now for the mashpah. What the world going on? What happened?
From the Beth of Elohim,
From the Beth Elohim.
if now first from us,
What happened?
what will be the outcome of those disobeying the Elohim, the of Elohim tube news.
Now, what you need to pay attention to, this is the same thing that happened in your call.
That's right.
He told him begin. That's what mashpah started.
That's right.
That's why Cuff told it to him.
That's right.
He said the time that come, that judgment must begin with us. So see, for those that know the Torah, we know exactly what he's talking about. I'm going to slay every one of them. Those that don't sigh, those that don't have a problem with these people. That's why he's taking people down to him. Because he told them where to start at. He said, begin at my mashkan. Start at my house. So when Cuff told him this, these folk had no idea what he was talking about. See, people that knew the Torah knew exactly what he talking about. He going through now with the ball. You know what he's trying to do? Put a mark on every one of these people.
Yes, sir.
Mark these people. Those that sigh. Those that tremble at his debal. He's looking at these people. This is important now to start looking at. That's why he got to take us down. That's why people got to fall away. That's why people got to die. Why he got to take people out. Because this way it's going to start at. Now, that's what you got to ask yourself. What you think the end going to be for the rest of these people that don't obey? How about this? That's why he told you. Chop them into pieces. Kill them. Kill their babies. Kill mamas. Kill daddies. Kill old people and young people. Kill them all. That's what the end going to be. If that started with us, what you think going to happen to the rest of these people? Don't worry about it. That's two. Appreciate Mr. Yahuwah. This for next week. I'm not gonna call it week. This for next week. To Shabbat Layla. You put that map. Don't try to steal it. Wonderful Shaquille. I'm gonna meet with my young people when I get finished. I need to speak with them for a little bit. Now I gotta get through. I got some stuff I need to do. So my young people will eat in the back. They get y'all at least 10 years and up. That's something back. We'll go back down. Get my young people. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
So, did y'all learn anything? Yes, sir. Okay, Mr. Hill. Other people still looking to get healed. Y'all gonna get healed up now. Y'all come on home. Country road, take me home. That's your favorite song, to the place where I belong. Country road. Look at she love that, take me home. Ain't that right? However, she know how that she look around. No, that Porky Mike got him. Porky Mike said when he get his hand on Wilbur, he going ham on him. Porky Mike, you might have to go get that vaccine, man. You been out so long. I ain't a proponent of it, but you been out so long, you might get the vaccine at this point. That vaccine terrible too, boy, I tell you. They don't want people to tell folks about it. Y'all don't need that stuff. You can recover from this corona. They got other stuff going on out here. Got to build up your immune system. They're giving us enough stuff that's actually attacking the immune system. And more people are contracting their immune deficiency. They call AIDS. A lot of them getting it. It's destroying it. A lot of folk getting AIDS now, and they ain't homosexual either. That's unfortunate, man. This stuff taking people down. Folks, I realize whenever the government come out with something, they give you something, but leave it like that government cheese. That stuff flew away. They gave a government cheese, and all of a sudden it just disappeared. Some of the best cheese. Y'all remember that cheese? Man, you cut. All of a sudden it just disappeared. Where it went? Because you know what? Mission accomplished. They stopped us up and messed us up. That was the end time they give you something. Man, I don't run no government truck. Free shot. The government again, I don't go get them. You get them. Get two of them. Tell them you can have mine. I don't run no stuff like that. These folks ain't got no confidence in their mind. They don't care about people living. They care about your dollars. They care about your servitude. They want you to serve them and let them be your master. I have no master other than Yahuwah. And I don't need a master. That is, I don't need these folks to be no master for me. They'll be all right. Let them do what they do. Somebody needed them to rule over them. Now you going to let them rule over you now. Leave me alone. You go ahead and you follow. Let them lead you. They ain't got nothing right since they've been in existence. They ain't going to get it right now. I tell y'all before, all these folks, we need to set up a fair rule for everybody. Isn't that right? Well, man can live. We can get rid of all these folks, the bad people. It won't be hard to get rid of them. They'll show themselves. Isn't that right? They show themselves, we're going to oust you out of society. We put all of them in their own little land. We'll fence the land in and let them live there and give them nothing so y'all survive off each other. Come over that gate, catch on that gate. Tell them about the gun line. I want to tell them about the gun line. Isn't that right? Catch you on that gate, you're getting shot. And no warning shot. All bullets going straight through. Tell what we do. And when y'all try to escape, we shoot you and 3 more of them. I guarantee they'll keep each other from escaping. They be like, ain't nobody escaping. Stay right there and learn how to live off each other. You get hungry, eat one of them legs. You know right? Anybody fat, just cut some meat off their back. How they got to do it? They need to survive. We don't want to be heartless. We're going to teach them how they got to learn how to do. Man don't want to live right and do right. He ain't got no business among society. Can't treat folk right, can't do folk right. We need you out of society. I don't know how we keeping people. Folk mad, murdering, and shooting up folk. Man, ain't got to have to waste up no trial. Folk, where we going to put you at? Ain't going to hold up no jail. You retarded. Go get no gun and go to no school and shoot up no school. I don't need to know. We're not keeping you around. You're going straight to the chair tonight. Get that video, make sure it's unedited, untouched, look at it. Well, what happened before that? I'm not worried about happening for that. I just saw what you done. That's enough to go ahead and put you in that chair. It's 30-second minutes. I assure you ain't nothing happened 30 seconds before that. They're going to make me change my mind on execute you. You don't went here and shot no school up and killed these people. Somebody get rid of no gun. Guns always been here. Folk know what they doing. Acting stupid, keep telling how you gonna get rid of gun? You gotta get rid of what's in the hearts of man. What you think? How you go? So if we get rid of gun, what they use to come stop these people doing the shooting? I ain't getting rid of mine. I might be already there, and I can say to the police in time, y'all gonna get some more donuts. I got this nigga. Ain't that right? If everybody armed, people will think twice. Then they be like, you run up in a place, everybody get down. So you really wasn't thinking, was you? We're going to everybody going to take you out now. And then you just take the body and hang it outside somewhere where the flies can get it and put it somewhere where it's out the way so traffic keep running. When the next one think about it, he look at that, he say, yeah, I'm going to go get me a job and live right. Got to give people the turn. That's it. We don't let stuff went on too long. Now you can't house it. There's a lot of folks, you can't rehabilitate them. All right, everybody all right? We got your mind? All right, let's get ready to stand. Give Mr. Yahuwah a hand clap. We appreciate it. You ain't football. You okay? You all right? He all right. He all right. Come on. Come on. Oh! Woo! 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 Yeah. It was like picking his dad up 4 times. Yeah. They're gonna throw my back out around him. I know that right. At least 400. Ain't it? At least 400. All right. Well, now we got a number one. Wonderful Shakira! Wonderful Shakira! Well, wonderful at? Well,
I appreciate
you
it.
make sure you get another check up there. All that extra love. We'll start getting that love to a minimum around here.
Well,
What we got, Yoshi?
everybody seen that hop.
And we'll hop them back too. Appreciate all of them. Get well, come on back. Also the Will, his 2 sons, daughter. Appreciate y'all too. So he sent me a letter to his 2 sons, daughter. Appreciate the love. And also had the grocery list on the back. So make sure you get the lettuce too. He wrote it on the back, had the grocery list. So go pick up the lettuce and stuff. So. Probably went to the store and said, I know I had me a list on there. You wrote on the other side and wrote to me. We appreciate it. All of y'all out there, Confederate, Nephew E, everybody out there, Mississippi, Derek them and Sean, Layla, appreciate them as too. Appreciate all of y'all out there everywhere. We appreciate y'all, every one of y'all. Catrice as well out there, Spokane, and so many of y'all. We appreciate all y'all, Arnez, everybody. Those watch 2 Mic in a Mind. You always mind. Remember that every Thursday, 8:30 p.m., you always mind 2 mics in my mind. And don't forget Turtle, me, Resident Joe, Thule, Shower Body, and Turtle Head. Turtle Head. Y'all enjoy Turtle Head? Man he had cut that screen out and then forgot to cut that mic out. That man was jumping and bumping in there. I said, well, gotta be a Turtle Head come out. And I will appreciate everybody. All right, let's pull out. Whew, I'm gonna be one on. Hold your arm up that side for me. Hold that one up. You hold that one up. Son. Most High Kadash Abba, how doing all you done and you rendered to us this opportunity to chant to Yakir and Yishim. Be a barak unto us according to the Barif Yishabah, the Abraham and Yatsakot, Yaakov, the Yahudim, Yasharal, the Tuladam, even to our Tuladam. Barak us and seal us with the Ruach HaKadosh and love us that we'll know you. Blot out all our Kataim and I'm all according to all was rendered by Yahushua HaMashiach, the Mashiach, through his Zabak, his Kum, his Ahab, his Dam, Barak Yoshem, your Shamim, your Sabut for Kabad and Kabud. Barak Yashalakim, your Ra'ah, your Mal'aki, behind prison walls and bereaved. Those that Yak upon Yoshem, we commit you in Palau, that that's just Palau for them and with them. Those in leadership or authority whom you put for the execution of Rosh and the vindication of Sadiq, the married, the single, the separated, the sick, the afflicted. Behind prison walls, bereaved, those going through the effects of nature, the out-of-towners, strengthen them with all. Recover those gone astray and taken from us, especially our Benin, my young adults. Be a baraka and let your pioneer oil upon us and by encampment, our protection. As you fill our lives with your harb, make us of the Kodashim and Talmim and join there with the Mashiach. Baraka Jerusalem, the city, the foundation, Shalom. If there's anything we've done or said, a place that we've gone to that cause us to be Badar for your Gadash will, we allow you not hold against us in the human mashpat. Without you, we are nothing. We confess that we've gone wrong and follow short of your kabul. I do for your reconciliation and your recalm and the repentance that you've given us in the remission of Kata'im through Yahushua HaMashiach. When we've done all we can do, we allow for Beth in your Lam Akuth, that we can see your Pani, the Tahalim, your Shem better. In the Shem of Yahushua HaMashiach, we allow. Let us all say, Amen. Come home! Come home! Hobby, woo, you heavy. You know you heavy. No Alice, good. So y'all know what we gotta do, right? Crank them fists up.
And big donut.
Yeah.
Do you know one time, Papa was watching something. I said I could start it open, but he said no, and he started catching me. He almost hit me.
We're gonna beat him down. Y'all ready? All right, let's put that fist up there for Alex. Good round fist for him. Let him know we're going to knock him out. I'm going to have the whole big man. Y'all ready? Put them fists up there for us so he'll know we're knocking him out. We're knocking out Alex and anybody with and Joseph. Knocking them out the planet. Y'all ready? And Adam. Oh, yeah, Adam, you too. You getting knocked out. Don't be shaking your head, Joker. Yeah, you too. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, hit it. Rock the little children. Oh, all the children of the congregation. Oh, red and yellow, black and white. They are precious in His sight. Rock the little children of the congregation. Woo! Come on home. Come on home. A hobby.